Warning. The following views shared on this podcast are the unfiltered expressions of our vibrant personalities. We are here to dissect the pulse-pounding world of pro wrestling, from the epic battles inside the ring to the captivating storylines that keep us hooked. Our discussions may venture into unexpected territories, from questioning the creative direction or analysing the artistry behind the suplexes and submissions. Please understand that we aim to entertain, educate and engage. But please also remember that we are just merely fans and observers, and we are not actual wrestlers, journalists or industry insiders. As we always say, by the Mandem, for the Mandem. Enjoy.
Episode 175 of the Wrestling's podcast. Make some fucking noise! In case you were late to the party, yes, we are in our new studio. What are we calling the studio, guys?
Wednesday night Raw.
Wednesday
We need an actual reading name.
drops on Friday. I was gonna say, what's that one AEW in September?
What, United?
The tennis.
Oh,
Arthur Ashe.
Welcome to Arthur Ashe. Make some fucking noise! We have a jam-packed studio. We have a lot to talk about this week. Intros?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how you says it in the intro. We're not saying what we say, Daddy. Guap.
Daddy.
Guap.
Daddy.
Strong star rating, leg drop hate. Big Pet Rock, Shirka Loving, Son of a Gunch, Boy Doughboy, aka Soul Delete, aka Cargo Maniac, aka Love Scars.
Keep
It's gonna
going.
be out by now, aka Not Gonna Lie, God forgive me if I bust my nine. And next to me we got
I actually don't remember my intro because it's been so long since I've been here. But yeah, I enjoy wrestling and my name's Knowledge.
We got knowledge.
What's up, people? My name's Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, wrestling enthusiast, Wrestlemania, if you will. You tune into another episode of the WRESTHINGS podcast. To the left of me, we have.
Yo, people, it's your boy NK, aka the man of the hour,
Too Sweet to Be Sour,
aka the Hood Japanese correspondent, aka the CEO, the president, the commissioner of the TDM, Tokyo Dope Merchants. What am I doing?
What I do your promo? Yo, Slaps, the main event live on Champagne Sipper. We're keeping it at that tonight.
What's this?
I did the whole thing, man.
Bro, that's the promo for today.
No more back drill.
You're not doing it back.
I heard you were inquiring to drill back yesterday. That's what I heard.
Who did you hear that from?
I wasn't present. Hey, big up Hustle.
Make some fucking noise for Hustle. Can't lie to you. Let's quickly talk about Hustle. Hustle yesterday.
Fantastic
Hustle
show,
yesterday
man.
was
Amazing show.
an absolute blinder of a show. Top to bottom, but that main event, Rain and Tate Mayfair's, I can't lie to you, that's probably top 5 matches I've ever seen live, honestly.
Yeah.
That match was incredible, and the fact that the majority of the people that come to Hustle shows, they're not wrestling fans.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere is, I don't think words describe how amazing it was, and I tend to watch people's faces for the first time when they come to the show, just kind of see how they're finding the show. And there was a couple of black girls that were there, and their eyes were glued to everything that was happening, from Tate taking off Tom's belt, the table spot with the coast to coast.
Even as soon as they brawled into the crowd.
Yeah.
Were they wrestling fans?
No,
Not
The
really.
first ones weren't really?
Nah.
Wow.
I don't know the percentage, but there's a large percentage of people who go Hustle just for an event, just for a night out.
Yeah.
So they're not even people that are into wrestling or whatever. They're just people that, okay, there's something local going on, let me just go on and watch it. But yeah, it was a crazy show. It was crazy. Crazy. True, real casual fans. But yeah.
Wow. Live wrestling is always so fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've been to some shitty shows, but live wrestling and having a good time with your friends, it's always a good time.
It's amazing.
I wouldn't take away the expectation of it. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hustle is. I feel like Hustle is the only show in the UK that can draw more than 5 black women. Outside of the WWE. I've never gone to a show, whether it be Rev or Progress or whatever, that I've seen more than 5 black women.
I've always seen one
at Rev Pro shows, it seems to be like the same girl.
Yeah. I feel like I know which one you're talking
Yeah, the same black girl.
That's how common it is.
Exactly.
And she's the kind of black girl that when I see her, I look at her and I nod her head and she's like, just turns away. She's like, I don't think she understands what's going on here.
The next show is, what is it, July
25th.
So we're going to have the links in the description, so make sure you guys grab your tickets.
Yeah.
Come and have a good time,
That'll
man.
be half term, so I'll come. I'll bring,
Oh yeah,
I'll bring my
perfect.
boy, we'll come.
Let's man, it's a good time, man. I mean, Mandem, where do we start?
Iron Sheik died today. Sheik baby.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, Iron Sheik, man.
His last tweet, fuck Hulk Hogan.
For the culture, it's a fuck Hulk Hogan thing today.
Yeah.
His last ever
The name
tweet.
of the episode.
There you go. There we have it.
Done.
No, he was a very memorable character. He was quite famous in the 80s because he was part of the boom period of the rock and wrestling connection. He was one of the top heels. He was like, his real name is Khosrow Vaziri, and he always said he bodyguarded the Prince of Iran, which wasn't true, but he said that for years to a point where people believed him. He also said he was an Olympic gold medalist.
That's what I used to think.
He said that for years, and before we had Google, I believed it too. We used to have this encyclopedia, Olympic one, at my school, and I remember going through that, but in the wrestling section looking for Khosrow Vaziri, and he was never in there. And I remember telling my teacher, "This is wrong." He wanted, it's like, but he was a very popular guy backstage. He kept a job for years because he was so popular. Like he always had, party stuff. And he was hilarious. The guys loved him. He was, and what you saw, was he was one of the first wrestling stars that went viral at the beginning of YouTube because his shoot interviews were so outrageous, really.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious. They really are hilarious. And he had a job on Howard Stern for years, but he was a proper character. He actually, he got fired. Vince fired him in '87. Vince, he thought that he had a job for life for Vince because Van Gagne offered him $100,000 to break Hulk Hogan's leg, and he didn't do it.
Oh.
And so he put Hogan over for the world title, and he kept his job for a couple of years. But he was feuding with Jim Duggan on TV, and they were having the USA versus Iran feud, and they were pulled over by the police together in a car, and they had cocaine on them in the car, and it was in the newspapers that these two feuding wrestlers were, in public together. So Vince fired him. He fired both of them.
They broke
actually.
kayfabe.
Yeah, they broke kayfabe. He fired both of them, but
Understandable.
he got Duggan back about a few weeks later. But he never brought Sheik back until the Slaughter thing. Yeah. But he was a big character, big time character. Former WWE champion as well. Transitional, because Backlund didn't want to lose to Hogan. Well, he couldn't. He was a good guy. Hogan was a good guy, so they had to get a heel in between. So I think Sheik had the belt for like 3 weeks. He had one Madison Square Garden run 3 weeks, and he dropped the belt to Hogan. But yeah, it's my gimmick.
Quick summary of Iron
Sheik,
Sheik.
baby.
He was in that was it the Battle Royal? What WrestleMania? The gimmick Battle Royal. That's it, isn't it?
He was
Was
in
that the
that.
last time he was probably on WWE TV? Or?
No. He came back for the Legend stuff, and he was in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, actively, like in the ring.
That was the last match he had.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was funny because as soon as the names were announced, I remember at the time, as soon as the name were announced, people were like, he's going to win because he can't go over the top rope. And he couldn't take a bump.
Yeah.
So when he was in there, he was just plodding around
Yeah,
and he knew
yeah.
that he was going to win. And he didn't take a bump throughout the whole match because he couldn't. But he was wheelchair bound for years. He was on Howard Stern. He was a guest on Howard Stern, like a regular on Howard Stern because he did the whole fuck Hulk Hogan thing. And Howard Stern thought it was hilarious. So every week he'd have the Sheik on his show and Sheik would cut promos on Hulk Hogan. But they were, after a couple of years, they fucking old hat, didn't it? But like at the time, the fuck.
So what
Hulk
the
Hogan.
fuck Hulk Hogan thing, like in more recent memories, more kayfabe?
I think that he worked himself into a shoot. I don't really ever think he hated Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Like I really don't. But after you keep saying something for 15 years, you've
believe
got to believe it. And it's I've seen him with Hulk Hogan in pictures, and I've seen them at events together, and he's talking to Hogan, and Hogan don't take Sheik seriously. It's like he probably remembers Sheik running around backstage in his underwear, high on coke. So it's like he doesn't really take the guy seriously, or whatever. But like, yeah, it's just a gimmick.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he was running his Twitter account. I always heard that he wasn't. That wasn't
Okay.
him on Twitter. That was always someone else.
I'm gonna.
They posted since he's passed, so I guess it was someone else.
I'm gonna pretend that it's always been him. 'Cause it's just funny.
Just tell the social media manager, yeah, you already know the drill.
There's a
Fuck the
documentary.
jabronis. That's it.
There's a good documentary on Sheik. It was on Amazon Prime. It was on Netflix too. It's called Sheik, and it was about his life and tragedy and the addictions and stuff. And it's really good. If you want to learn about pro wrestling in the 80s and how hard it was for people, you check that out. Quite eye-opening.
What's it called?
Sheik. I think it was called Sheik.
Oh, rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, man.
R.I.P.
But do you guys want to start off with this week? AEW, WWE, SmackDown.
What has happened in the last week? Because I don't remember. What has happened? We've had there was a thing on SmackDown with that big quarter that Roman Reigns did, but there was a big angle. There was a big angle, and then there's Forbidden Door. The announcement of the two main events.
Yeah.
The Crockett Cup.
What's that?
What's those NWA?
I'm surprised you got even bringing that
The Crockett Cup.
The Crockett Cup. What's his name?
Sounds like there's history behind that.
Who won the fucking Trevor Murdoch and the guy who was in WWE and he kicked the baby.
Oh, Snitsky.
I'm pretty sure it was those
Snitsky.
two. No, it wasn't. It was No, it was. I think it was. Who's Kelly managing in ECW in 2006? Who did she come out with? Do you remember?
Something. Mike Knox.
Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch won the Crockett Cup. And,
That is awful.
And Tyrus done something, but yeah.
Is Tyrus still champ?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Billy Corgan said something that if you can't watch NWA,
You don't watch wrestling.
You're not a real wrestling fan. If you can't watch.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't lie. I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't know what. No, but I always deep like who is NWA for? Like what's their target audience? Like when they put out the.
Who's that target?
Billy Corgan, the president. He's the only one that watches it.
Fair enough.
No one watches it. Like,
I feel like he pays people to come. Honestly.
No, they sell tickets. They sell tickets, and they're not cheap. Oh, they're cheap, but I mean, they're not like they're not like $5 tickets or whatever. They're,
but then what's the capacity?
600 people, you know. But I mean, you'd be surprised.
It's still 600 people to go see NWA. That's crazy.
And I don't.
Why would you leave your house for that?
600 people to go see wrestling.
I don't see the pay-per-view numbers for the NWA shows. The one I did before, it was like terrible. It was way more than you think. It was like 300. 500, you know, and it's like you might think that's small, but think about it. Like there are 500 people
who are paying money to watch NWA.
Fuck, man, yo, let me put this 30 down. Let me watch.
Fuck recess tonight. Man's watching NWA, fam. I'm watching NWA.
I mean, they've got talent outside of
There's
the
some
world
decent talent, but why would you watch?
Yeah.
You can find good talent anywhere these days. Good wrestlers are all over the place. You don't need to watch.
Yeah.
You know, suffer and watch that shit.
Man said suffer.
I don't know anyone that watches it. I really don't.
Sam does.
Blacks.
Some black stuff.
Sam is the defender of NWA, but if you ask him, what was the last?
If Sam watches the NWA, we seriously need to contact the local schools and let them know there's a madman that lives here. What's he watching that for? He doesn't watch AEW or anything else, but he's going to watch NWA. Nah, he's not an idiot. So.
The most prestigious championship.
Yeah.
What? NWA over the WWE? You're fucking having a lot. Come on.
Come on.
Carl Carney used to be hot in like 91 as well. Like, yeah, exactly. So whatever.
Yeah. Roman, the Usos.
Yeah, let's go, man. Bloodline continues.
Yeah.
That was
the new titles out. There's no more two belts.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
What do you guys think of the new title?
I don't like it.
It looks deep fried, fam. I
Yeah,
can't lie, fam.
yeah, it looks
That
deep.
that title.
So they dropped the other two belts.
Yeah, that's
And
the
then choosing that
intention.
one.
It's just a one undisputed championship now.
Okay.
So that means both lineages are merging together now.
You would assume.
Yeah.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
interesting.
I mean, if it was bound to happen, they had to get rid of Roman with two belts, but
No, we needed that swing. Man.
Yeah.
Man.
It
We
was
needed that swing,
wavy.
man. Can't lie.
So why'd they do that? Because Seth has got the bronze medal on the other channel, so like they don't have another belt. So it's like.
I mean,
belts.
I guess they needed.
What's the
Well,
term?
that's probably one thing, but I guess they needed a reason to like. What is the emphasis of this 1,000-day celebration? They needed to kind of put the icing on the cake of the celebration, I guess, and that's why Triple H presented him with this new title. But then the Usos, who they had said throughout the show, are not going to be able to make the celebration. They're going to be guarded out, security or aware of them, blah blah blah.
They just showed up.
Of course, just walked in through the entrance
Wrestling
way.
security is horrendous.
I hate it so much.
Horrendous.
I genuinely hate it. And I hate the fact that there's certain like segments that they do, they get the whole roster involved. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit.
And then when security does come out, they get beaten up.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
It's ridiculous. Even women beat the security up. It's like,
Everybody. So they just waltzed in, not even security chasing them. Now that I think about it, kind of stopped them. They just literally just waltzed in. The music hit everything. So
willy-nilly, like,
they just came in,
running into a rave or something.
literally as if there was no warning that they shouldn't be there. They just waltzed in, and what happened in the segment? So yeah, Triple H left the ring. Roman basically told Jay to just super kick Jimmy, because Jimmy super kicked him at the pay-per-view. And Night Champions, and
I saw that.
Yeah, Jay refused. Jay just didn't do it. Jimmy went on the whole thing that, you know, Roman, you're out of line, you need fixing, blah blah blah. That's my brother. That's why he won't do it. And then Roman basically went like, this doesn't mean nothing. Blah blah blah. Solo, tell them that you acknowledge me. Solo said, I acknowledge you, but these men are my brothers. Solo went. That's the first part where the crowd just went up. Like Solo went and stood next to his brothers. Roman obviously looked like he was on his own, and I think Roman tried to bad up Jimmy again, and Jimmy then gave him the face palm sort of thing, which has kind of been synonymous in this story of Roman using it against Sammy, Jay, Jimmy, just disrespecting them. And then that's when, I think Jimmy was saying, like, Jay squashed it, said, I don't need you two to fight, I need both of you, blah, blah, blah. Jimmy was like, let's squash it. Roman was trying to force tears dropping from his face.
Roman was stretching it.
Roman was pulling all kinds of faces, trying to pull the tears out of his face.
At some point, I was just hoping Roman just licks his face.
The tears never came. He hugged Jimmy. Jimmy was basically, what was Jimmy's line? I think Jimmy said something like, let's get back together or something like that. Jimmy, they all embraced, and then Roman just said no, and then stepped back, and then Solo hit him with a Samoan spike. Jimmy stayed with his brother. Solo and Roman and Paul Heyman left, and I think they called Jay, but Jay never came. And then Paul Heyman was like, "What are we gonna do?" Roman said, "Jay always comes back." So I think the angle this week is, you know, Jay this is his last chance to rejoin Roman and them lot before I guess he's discommunicated as well, sort of thing. But yeah, like you said, just pulled massive numbers in terms of
huge
TV.
The huge quarter. I did like 2.9 million. I don't have the demo number, but I did like 2.9 for the quarter, which is absolutely massive. Like the huge. Brock Lesnar and Kofi, whatever year
that was the beginning of Fox.
That was a debut episode of SmackDown. They did like just under 5 for that one quarter. Yeah, obviously viewership's gone down a lot since then, but like still, like that 2.9 is incredible. Like coming off the pay-per-view as well. I saw the end part of that segment. So I don't know where it's going. I mean, where is it going? Because I assume it's going to be a tag match
at Money in the Bank. That's what they're saying. But
when do you think Roman's going to defend his title next?
Apparently he's not defending. Yeah, apparently he's not defending the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it'll be a tag match.
Apparently there's 2 pay-per-views he's not defending his title. I can't remember what that
Money in the Bank.
I thought already happened. The Backlash or Night of Champions.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. So there's 3 before SummerSlam.
So and SummerSlam, we don't expect him to defend the title either.
Right now, there's no open, there's no challenger in it. There's no one there. There's no program around the title right now. Why are you holding yourself?
He can't keep getting away with this. I'm so sorry. The thing is, this bloodline stuff is amazing in terms of storyline. As a champion, come on, man, come on, defend. No, because it's like I can excuse not appearing on, not like defending your championship on Monday Night Raw or even these B pay-per-views. Don't define. At some point, can we at least build me a challenger?
Yeah,
there's no program,
which they're not doing either.
You know, and he didn't need the belt. He didn't need it. I mean, right? You wanted the 1,000-day thing. It's like, really, let's be honest. What is? Like, what does it matter? Like, really, what does it matter? It's a fake belt. It's not Floyd Mayweather having the welterweight title for you. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like he could have dropped the belt to Cody. Cody could have had a real feud with Brock. Because really, why is Brock angry at Cody?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Why did he attack him that night after WrestleMania? I know Brock's a dick, but it's like, why would he do that, really? When Roman is the world champion standing on the other side of the ring. And I watched, my son watches these pay-per-views now, so I watched them with him. You know, I mean, it's crazy. He's like a proper WWE fan. He's frustrated while he watches it because he thinks it's bullshit. But like,
my little brother's like that as well.
But he loves Cody and he loves Brock and he loves, you know, Zayn and people like that. He's an AEW and a New Japan guy, so he watches that stuff. But he watches WWE and he's like, man, this is dumb. The last show we watched, the Clash show,
Night of Champions.
that Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus match broke him. It was horrendous. He was like, no, I can't watch this. And he's like, I just went upstairs. He said, call me from Cody and Brock. And I was like, fine. He couldn't do it. Those punches was too much for him. But like, I don't, like, seriously. And I'm saying this as like, seriously, why did he beat Cody at WrestleMania? Like, what was the point?
I honestly think, like, that wasn't the plan and it was like a last minute thing they done at this point. Like, Roman, I guess for the story, I want to see him defend his belt more. Like, but they're telling the story that the Bloodline is, at this point, have been holding him together in every match. So now that the Bloodline is... Yeah, now that the Bloodline is...
That's fair, that's fair.
Now the Bloodline is, like, on its way out. At the next opportunity, he surely loses the title, like... Surely, like, if it's SummerSlam, then cool, but...
I don't see the point of him losing it, because I'm at a stage now where I was like, you might as well just keep it.
Keep it on him.
They obviously got him because they want Dwayne to answer his phone. Like, and I don't...
ultimately,
And he's not. He's not going to answer his phone. He's too good to answer his phone.
He shouldn't pick up.
He shouldn't pick up.
He shouldn't put his phone on airplane mode.
Change his number.
Take out the battery.
Take out the battery. That shit in the pool, man.
That's the only reason I can see why they kept the belt on that guy. It's like, all right, cool. Next year, we're going to see if Dwayne picks up.
But is it a thing where, like, obviously the Roman's broken, like, the 1,000-day record. Maybe in kayfabe they want him to break. I don't know. What's the next record that's, like, left? Because obviously he's not going to break Bruno on that. But, like, I think they want... I think they want a thing where, like, at least in the modern era, Roman to be, like, have the most impressive record. But I don't know what's next.
They
What,
want to
Hogan?
modernize their records.
Yeah, there's a next record which I think he's literally within
That's
100 days.
Pedro.
Pedro Morales.
Morales. And I don't know why that one has still existed for all these years. To be honest.
What record's that?
Pedro Morales had the world title, the WWF title. I think it was like 1,000 and I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I think it's like 1,100. Pedro Morales is at something like that.
Hogan was
at like 1,010 right now.
What about Bob Backlund?
Bob Backlund was champ for like 5 years.
Yeah,
5 years.
Yeah, he was. He had title. For some reason, he had the title for. Like, he drew.
For some reason.
So wait, was Bob Backlund really that guy back in the day?
No.
Wasn't it his dad, Vince's dad liked him?
Vince's dad loved Bob Backlund. He was a nice guy. The wrestlers respected him. He was a badass too, like super tough guy. And, you know, he was a good white meat babyface.
Okay, fair enough.
And, you know, he could draw in certain places, but Vince Jr., Backlund beat Billy Graham, and Billy Graham was Vince McMahon's favorite wrestler. And even at the time when Billy Graham dropped the belt to Bob Backlund, Vince apparently pleaded with his dad, said, "You're making a mistake. You can't drop the belt to this guy." And Vince had already promised it to Bob Backlund, so they put the belt on Backlund. But as soon as Vince got the company, it was like,
As
soon as it was either Kerry Von Erich or Hulk Hogan was going to beat Backlund, and he got Hogan. And as soon as he got Hogan, it was like, yeah, cool, you're out of here. And Backlund was gone after that. He was a decent champion. He was a draw and stuff like that, but he wasn't. I mean, the name Bob Backlund isn't synonymous with wrestling legend to this day, and he was a champion for 5 years. You know, but he could. I don't see why he'll beat Roman. Roman to beat Hogan's record, 1,400 days. I don't see why not. I know people think he's going to lose it at SummerSlam, but who's he going to lose it to? There's no one he can lose it to. I would have said Cody, but Cody's been beat twice now. You know, it's like if they were going to build for Cody for next year WrestleMania, they should have really kept him hot and kept him unbeaten until WrestleMania next year, and could have built up to that. But they already beaten him twice.
But they want him to struggle.
Oh yeah, he needs adversity.
He hasn't gone through much adversity.
To struggle.
Like Steve Austin did when he did no jobs leading up to WrestleMania 14 and he won the world title. He became the biggest star ever and stuff like that. But you know, it doesn't matter. People have got agendas and stuff. And people just say anything.
And he lost to Brock Lesnar. Now he's gone through so much adversity now.
Wow.
His arm's broken.
He's broke his arm.
Oh yeah, his arm's broken.
Wrestled through torn muscle.
And now he's going to be in a program with Dom. Mysterio.
Dominique.
Cody.
Oh,
Because Brock ain't coming back till SummerSlam.
oh.
So
That Dominic Mysterio stuff, I swear to you. Holy shit.
I think he's a fun character. The crowd are enjoying booing him right now. They're having a lot of fun with him.
I like Dom. I think he's fun because I watch him and I find him amusing.
Yeah.
But that heat, that piped in heat, I fucking hate it.
Well,
It's a show, that WWE shit where they turn the sound up and down. And it's like, see, oh, look at the heat. And it's just like, fuck you. Like, look like, I watched a segment the other day and it's like, they're giving the mic and like, you look at the people in the background, they're just sitting there. And the boos just start immediately and they go up. And then they stay up and then they go down. Then they go up again. And you look at the people behind them, the people that are sitting there.
motionless.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not saying that he's not getting booed, but I think that if you watch the show, you don't notice.
Yeah.
Because you watch it regularly. I don't watch the show regularly, so when I turn it on, I immediately think, why are these people like cheering Trish, but I hear boos in the background, and then you listen to it.
The Trish one is obvious.
Yeah,
That
they're cheering her.
Hyping it in. Yeah.
And it's like, I listen, and it's like you can hear it's so tinny. It's not authentic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Dom isn't a good heel, because I'm sure he's getting, I've heard people say in the building he's booed.
Yeah.
But it's not like Don Callis last week, you know? And it's like, him and Cody will be fun, I'm sure it will. But so when people say he's like the best heel in wrestling, it's like, you know, what the fuck? He can't even work.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Where the
because
matches?
Cody's still got a cast on his arm. They're still telling us he's got a broken arm in it. So
So is he? Did they give like what? He's medically not cleared to wrestle for.
they haven't said anything like that.
Just give him paracetamol.
They just on a missed TV.
He's got a broken arm and he had a Kimura on
okay.
him for minutes and he's going to work at SummerSlam.
Yeah, we'll see. He's definitely saving himself for SummerSlam. I just don't know if they're gonna do this Dominic stuff in between.
So obviously, since like Roman, obviously that's why they brought in the secondary title. What's Seth got going on?
So Seth defended the championship on Raw against Damian Priest. Judgment Day had a bit of a tiff.
It's looking really? It looks like they're trying to tease some sort of breakup or something.
The cracks are beginning to show.
After watching Raw, I don't believe it anymore.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think that they're working together. Like they're gonna pretend that they're literally pretending that they're gonna tease a breakup. This is for Finn Balor to win the championship.
Yeah.
But my thing with Seth now is that he defended it on Raw, and yes, they're gonna have to make this feel different to what Roman's doing or not doing with that world title, innit? He's defended it on Raw. This morning, I'm watching NXT, and Braun Breaker has called out Seth Rollins for the world title.
Yeah.
Right? So without doubt, the fighting champion is going to go to NXT at some point to fight Braun Breaker. Now...
On NXT?
I'm assuming so.
No,
he told him to come here. His words were come here, innit?
Might as well.
His words are come here.
No.
That's not good. That's like
I think it's good for Braun.
It's good for Braun. It's good for NXT as well. Like,
Is it good for the championship?
I don't think it's good for the champ because
who's the champion?
Seth Rollins. Oh, the NXT champion,
he's NXT.
Carmelo Hayes. Braun Breaker was calling.
He can beat Braun Breaker. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Braun Breaker beat who?
Seth can go over there and beat Braun Breaker. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm thinking for the championship.
The world title.
Yeah, for the world, or the secondary thing that they're doing. Is it good? Like, are they watering it down with Seth just like basically just wrestling everywhere, and the character of Seth is already kind of jovial and jokey. He's not like a champion as we know it in terms of how he's presented. So with that mixed with him just taking his belt everywhere and fighting anybody for it, is that
This is his forbidden door, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's forbidden
You might as well. I'm not against it. I'll be
I'm not against it. I'm just not sure if we're here. We've been calling this a consolation prize, since day one. So it's like, does this help the perception of the title?
Especially when they branded it. Especially when they branded it, this belt is going to be different from what Roman is doing. I don't necessarily like. I'm a fan of open challenges, but when the challenge is too open, you're now just letting anyone in. You're slag at this point, and I'll be real.
There needs to be rules and regulations.
Come on, don't get me wrong, yeah. It could, as long as it's Braun, you shouldn't come and let, what's this guy that does, come next Tuesday, what's that tall guy?
Von Wagner.
Yes, as long as it's not Von Wagner asking for a title shot, I'm fine. But Braun, I don't mind.
Do you know what it is?
Because this will be good in his vignette.
Yeah.
You know what? I lost. I put a good fight against Seth, and then maybe down the line they can revisit when he now comes to Raw.
my thing,
but if it's Von Wagner or anyone else, no, I'm so sorry.
But my thing with Seth and Braun as a matchup, I agree. I don't mind. It's him going to NXT because now it's like, okay, you've got a world championship, but I know NXT's like it's back in this like developmental hybrid phase. It's like, okay, I'm the world champion going to developmental essentially. Instead of like, if it was Braun going, okay, do you know what? I'm coming to you. I'm gonna come to Monday Night Raw, the big leagues. Yeah. Then I'll be like, okay, cool. But it's like, I'm the world champion and I'm reducing myself, no disrespect, to developmental, man.
Because I wouldn't even look at it as reducing though. Like at the end of the day, it's kind of like it's a play for everyone to win at this point. If Seth is going down to NXT, I wouldn't even look at it as like reducing. It's like he's coming to a new, like he was built there. He's now coming to a new arena around new people. It's now more so a thing of like, this isn't for Seth. This is just a stat pad for him. But this is more so for those who are not familiar with Braun to be familiar with him now that he's facing someone like Seth.
And we know they're heavily invested in Braun.
It's a cosign as opposed to like, you know what, I'm doing you lot a favour, I'm just coming down. Like, Seth needs the new competition as well.
This is actually bizarre because normally someone goes down to NXT when they don't have a title.
But the thing is, in the past, we've seen champions go down to NXT though.
A world champion.
As world champion went down to NXT.
To actually wrestle and compete.
CM Punk wrestled in NXT
as in defended their title.
They wrestled. It's not even like they went. They brought the belt
for the title.
Charlotte did it as well.
It just feels weird because can you imagine Roman Reigns doing that?
Can't imagine Roman Reigns working. He's not going to go to NXT.
No, but we have to understand now that there's like we're now seeing the synergy of what NXT and main roster is.
Yeah,
we saw Braun Dolph Ziggler come to NXT and win the NXT title. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it should ever be looked at as like, someone reducing themselves. It's just more so now. That's just another place now. It just happens to be people that are...
Baron Corbin is down there now.
Baron Corbin is there. RD's
coming
there.
to change.
But like, the way they've changed the system, normally it's just NXT main roster. That's it. Not main roster NXT.
Because people will come from NXT to the main roster. Nobody will know who they are, but they'll now completely change their whole gimmick, and people are just like, this person was built like this in NXT. Yeah. Now that they're here, we don't even know what's going on.
They're trying to
we saw with Karrion
Kross.
We saw with all these different wrestlers where they're on NXT. They were pushed to the moon. But when they came to main roster, they started looking like gimps and fucking dominatrixes. They started looking like dominatrixes and people confused. Do you know what I mean? So it's better that, you know, like there's some sort of like linear system between NXT and the main roster where no matter if you're going up or if you're going down, we both were aware of what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it adds to the story as well. So I'm not opposed to it. I don't really care. I'll be real.
I'm not a fan of it.
There's still a chance. Obviously, like I say, Braun called him out and said, come here and whatever. But they've got Great American Bash coming up, which is a pay-per-view, PLE. So it could be on pay-per-view.
And we know Seth likes that type of wrestling where he could just go all out. That's what I'm saying. If he was to go Great American Bash, this is his Great Forbidden Door. I'm telling you. Because him and Braun will be able to have the match that he wants. He'll imagine he's facing Woodlow. Like, this is me. Woodlow. Imagine he's facing Woodlow. You know what I mean?
The match will slap to be.
The match will slap. He will think like,
I'm not opposed.
You're like your Uncle Scott. Let's give them a WCW 2000 banger.
Yeah. One Breaker's very good.
But you know what?
That kind of went over my head, and I was like, "Now, do you know what? It's Nick Khan has recently been talking about NXT being the third branding. So they were developmental, and then they became a third brand. They went head to head with AEW. They lost, and they became developmental again. They beat developmental sort of thing, and now they're pushing it as a third brand again. Yeah. So that's another reason for the synergy. They're trying and NXT is doing really well. WWE as a brand
is doing well.
Is doing excellent. You know, like NXT does really good numbers. They don't. The tickets on the road aren't going through the roof or anything. But like as a TV property, it's doing really, really well. They were number 4. No, they were 5 in entertainment for the whole of last week. Okay. In television, which. Last week in cable television, Raw was number 1, AEW Dynamite was 4, and NXT was 5. There are 5 pro wrestling shows in the top 5 entertainment
TV properties the whole of last week. You know how many thousands of TV shows were on cable? Three in the top 5 last week. That is absolutely incredible.
Impressive.
Yeah. That hasn't happened since probably 1998. No, probably early 99. You know, so. But yeah, it's the brands. They're trying to create synergy between the brands because they're trying to promote NXT again as a third brand. So I don't see why Seth wouldn't work the Great American Bash. I actually think that's a really good idea.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Isn't it going to be in Florida?
No, they do it.
Oh, really?
Are they
going to be touring pay-per-view to pay-per-view now?
Yeah, they've been doing that.
They've been doing that since maybe WrestleMania, just before WrestleMania.
They should do that.
That's when I think New Day went down at the beginning of the year. They won their NXT Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
And then they held it for a while. I think they dropped it back to Pretty Deadly, maybe. I can't remember.
So even Ricochet had for the North American title last year with Carmelo.
So for Money in the Bank coming up, we assume that whoever wins that is going straight for Seth.
Pretty much.
Kind of, because I guess Roman is so far it's Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, LA Knight.
I think LA Knight's my pick, you know.
I hope he wins.
None of those guys are going to.
I don't think they're going to win.
Probably Seth.
Yeah, probably Seth, yeah. But my pick's probably LA Knight. When they've got
It'll be a different pick and it could be good.
Bronson Reed hasn't been confirmed for it, has he?
He lost his qualifying match, but you know they usually do that last chance match
last chance.
where he'll probably qualify.
I thought you were about to say he lost his qualification.
No, he lost the Ricochet still.
Really?
Yeah. Qualifying match.
Bronson Reed looks like a monster though. Even though he's lost, I'm thinking.
You know what? He's beaten the allegations of this man beat Okada. Like now he's getting cheered. People are wanting him, and he's playing up to it. Like he's doing a very good job at the minute. Like so, yeah. I think he's definitely going to find his way into that match some way somehow.
AEW.
Should we talk Dominion? Because I guess it kind of leads into AEW.
Let's talk Dominion.
New Japan might be back, you know. I can't lie, it's back.
I said it.
It's
They're
back.
They're cooking still.
New Japan are back.
Yeah.
What?
There's a New Japan renaissance. New Japan is
I'm
back.
happy.
Yeah.
New Japan is back.
Well, what's new?
They've been planting the seed small, but Dominion solidified it.
Yeah, because to be fair, Wrestle Kingdom was good. All the Sakura Genesis was good.
Yeah.
And then now Dominion was like
Progressively been getting better shows.
it was
New
like
Japan Cup was good,
New
best
Japan
Super
Cup.
Junior.
Yeah, like even that final between Wato and T-Time was crazy.
Bro,
Master Wato
T-Time is so good.
Master Wato versus T.
ridiculous.
I can't lie.
He used to come over here.
I was
Bro, he's ridiculous.
I was not a fan of Master Wato, but coming
I
in
was not a fan. I
this
didn't
year,
want him to win.
I'm invested in Master
But
Wato.
that final, I said, yeah, he's the truth. I can't lie to you.
His entire year, his performance and the Fatal 4-Way at Wrestle Kingdom was cold. Obviously, he's running the best of Super Juniors was cold, and then the final, and then obviously we'll get to the match he had with Hiromu at Dominion. Bro, Master Wato, hey, I'm invested.
Tenzan's looking old, though.
Looking
old.
Out here looking
Hey,
knackered.
Father Time is really real. When he was at his corner at Dominion, I was thinking, shit, guy's looking like
Very
old.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know what?
He's looked old for a long time.
no, but this one was like old, like granddad.
Tanahashi looked.
I can't lie.
Knackered.
I love him, yeah. But you see, we're gonna get to Forbidden Door. I want him in the trip in a multi-man match.
Multi-man thing.
I don't want a singles match with Tanahashi.
Like at least 8 man.
Yeah.
Like
8 man.
Tag is not enough.
because I'm so sorry.
Tag ain't enough. 8 man.
I'm seeing people online.
He's at least 2 minutes in the ring. That's it.
I'm seeing people fantasy book online MJF versus Tanahashi. This ain't 5 years ago. If this was 5 years ago, sign me up.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
it's been painful to watch. I can't lie. I've been looking at him like.
You know, he took his robe off and he took it off like he was younger. And he took it off the same way, and he's got the old beer barrel like physique now. But he took it off like he was.
The
like
muscles starting to fall.
They're gone, bro.
Yeah.
Like the pectorals are gone.
Yeah.
Nah, once the pectorals go,
He's
that's
got
it.
like everything. Because his knees were gone years ago, but at least had the physique.
Yeah.
Now the physique is gone.
Yeah.
He's losing his teeth every other match. Like
At this point, he's wearing like dentures or something.
yeah,
he's
he's got full teeth. But yeah, like it's crazy. But I'd say this year.
Still got that here though.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
That's
That's one
never
thing I
get-
heard about Japanese wrestlers.
Still got that fabulous
No matter how
hair.
old they get, their hair will always stay.
the same.
And at least they can dress outside the ring as well.
Yeah, they got drip as well.
They got drip as well. But I can't. I think this is. What I've noticed about this year in wrestling has been the year of mid-card champions because Gunther's been cooking, Orange Cassidy's been cooking.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre Jr.
That TV title run he's been on.
This is the 10th defense now.
10th defense, yeah.
Very
And he had a blinder with Rocky Romero.
Yeah.
Who did he defend against at Rampage?
Action and Drex, good match.
Action and Dre was.
He had a
good
banging
match.
match against Shota at Sakura Genesis.
Yeah. And the match against Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb.
Bro, the finish of that match when he went for the tour of the islands.
Looks
Cold.
like he's building to a feud with Joe.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the only good thing happening in the Ring of Honor.
Forbidden Door, that could be the thing.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't lie.
Battle of the TV
Yeah,
champs.
that'd be a good match. Like, good match.
No, I can't lie.
Kings of TV.
He's a true king of TV. man.
Nah,
That's the only good thing happening in the Ring of Honor.
nah. But
Will's
That match was last
contender.
fucking crazy. No, we need to have a conversation about Lance Archer.
I've said
He
Lance
needs
Archer.
more!
Lance Archer is
I'm
one of the
tired
best
of this.
big men I have
Bro,
seen.
Lance tired of
Like,
this.
Since TNA, Lance
He
Hoyt.
needs to beat Cesaro for the belt, man. I'm
like,
so sorry. Give me the
just
Ring of Honor belt, man.
before the,
I'm with
just
that.
before like AEW became a thing, and I've seen a lot of Lance Archer in New Japan. I was thinking this guy needs more, bruv. Like I was thinking if he gets a move to WWE, I was thinking at the time
That'll be big.
Yeah, like it'll be good. They'll surely don't know. But I remember, okay, this guy was in WWE at one point.
He was.
Like,
He's also old. He's a lot
Yeah, he's
older
also
than
old.
people think. and
Yeah,
they're
he
not
Doesn't
gonna
look it
invest
at all, boy.
but
No,
even
he looks great.
over like when
Yeah.
he first joined AEW and how they were treating him, they were using him. They had Jake
For the-
with him. Like
For the
I thought
TNT
that was
tournament.
a great
I thought
pairing.
he was going to win.
This guy used to just drag people out from the back and
That
flog
cute.
them before the match even began, like randomers. I thought, and he's just perennial loser. Like gets to finals of TNT and all these things, just kept losing.
He doesn't win the big one.
Doesn't win the
That's
big
the
one.
problem. And then they take him away, and then they need someone for a quick main event program or against a top
And they
guy,
stick him in it.
and they bring him back. He does the
Him
job.
and Hangman was brilliant.
That was amazing.
That
Great match.
DQ match, or
Great
whatever they
Do you,
had.
do you know what? There was a point, I think, when Lance Archer beat Moxley for the United States Championship.
Match,
That
yeah.
match was
thought-
cold as well.
yeah.
I was like, oh wait, they're doing something with Lance. They gave him the US title, and then he was a transitional champion anyway. So
Yeah,
I was like,
he had to drop it.
yeah.
You know what?
I think he's even currently injured as well.
He was
think
injured.
he was injured.
He was injured. Yeah, he was injured for a few months, but they didn't say anything. But you know, with Collision now, they've got 2 extra hours to use these guys, and you can't understand.
Yeah.
Like AEW, you've got a lot of guys. They've got a lot of guys.
It's
The
too much.
rosters,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
too
not
much.
now. Not now. With extra-
Yeah.
with
You've
an
had
extra
to
2 hours of
resurrect Ring
TV,
of Honor, create extra show.
With an extra 2 hours of TV, though, it's fine now. But it's like you can't. With a guy like Lance Archer, who's super talented, when you've got that little TV, you can't bring him on TV if you've got nothing for him because he's going to have him do jobs, and he's too good for that.
Yeah.
And he's too big to just keep
too
going
big,
to do jobs.
yeah.
So
And there's not enough staff backstage for him to just be flipping
be
about.
fair,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
So you bring him back, every so often, give him work. He gets paid. I'm sure he gets paid a good amount of money.
I guess,
You know, and he gets to do his indie dates and New Japan dates. I'm sure he'd like to do more, but with Collision and stuff, he's probably going to be doing more. But he's a guy. He's. I think he's probably about 44, 45 now.
Yeah,
But
45.
he's a lot older than people think or whatever. But it's his end of his twilight.
I'd love to see him as like a TNT champ.
100.
I think that for me, I don't expect him to be like world champion.
As a killer heel, this running through guy, like Paul, but
Fuck
this
it.
is-
Lance Archer should defeat Wardlow. Take him off the title.
I
Take
prefer him than
I
Wardlow.
think he needs
Yeah,
a big.
take Lance Archer over Wardlow. Yeah.
I think for a career like his, he needs to get the big one at least once.
Nah.
What,
No.
you're not
I don't
feeling
I mean,
that?
it is because
At
I
least
have
once.
like ties to him from like TNA when he was Lance Hoyt.
Yeah.
I think for me, seeing him win,
It's full circle, bro. It's
bro, I
full
would love to
circle.
see him win a world champ, but I'm not against. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it will
international
happen.
championship. Like, I want.
It's not that I'm not against it. I just don't. I'm not
Think
gonna
it-
believe it.
yeah.
I can't even fathom it happening. Like,
He's lost too many of the big
It's
ones.
not.
It's,
Yeah.
pause.
It's not, and also
For editing purposes, we haven't said it.
once again, it's like that AEW title is so protected. It's like you can't just
Yeah.
give it to someone.
No,
like
for
that.
real.
No
Yeah,
offense.
yeah.
to
That's why when people say, yeah, Eddie Kingston needs to win the world title so he can use it the day after. Fuck right off, man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Nah.
Act like you've been here before, man. Act like you fucking watch wrestling.
Do you remember when like
Oh, yeah.
It's the-
Oh, New
it's
York.
moment, that's
yeah.
WWE moment
Moments.
time. That's
I'm a
it.
Japan cosplayer. I need to win the fuck off. I'm tired, man.
And I don't even think Eddie Kingston would even want. He's happy. Let him do his G1. You know, like he's gonna be happy doing that.
Yeah, that's big for him still.
Yeah.
No, that G1's a good.
I would have preferred the Champions Carnival, but you can't.
I'm sure he
can't
would
be
too,
choosers.
yeah. He's got to wrestle some, amazing wrestlers.
My thing for Eddie Kingston is I wanted him to win when Miro had TNT champion. I wanted him to win a TNT.
The off-ash show.
Yeah, the off-ash.
Do you remember the match they had at All Out 2021? They opened the show.
Yes.
Fucking great match.
Yes.
And it was an iffy finish. It's like the ref fucked up or something or other at the finish, right?
Yeah.
I watched that and I remember thinking, all right, he's going to come back at Grand Slam and he's going to beat Miro at Grand Slam in New York.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
They didn't have another match again. It's like they just moved on.
That was a misship, especially after that. After Miro was the beginning of the end of the TNT title, so it would have been,
No, Darby came back recently and he had some good.
Samoa Joe and Darby, but that was like brief. It was like bad, good. We thought it was back, and then now it's back to.
Should have given it to Christian.
Yeah, for sure. I would have been great with Christian, but what else happened at Dominion?
BCC
Bullet Club for
life.
This rebrand. I'm here for
Mate,
it.
Bullet Club guys in
I've
again.
seen people complain about it, but it's like, you have
What
to
are they
actually deep the
complaining
vision.
about?
This is a new rebranded Bullet Club going back to where it was.
Yeah.
Like, we can't be scared of something new, especially when these are new guys and there's a lot of stories that you can tell. These are a lot of these guys are LA Dojo guys.
Young guys.
These are
as
guys
well.
that have,
Yeah.
and if you listen to what Gabe was saying, big up Gabe, the things I found out time ago anyways. If you deep what Gabe was saying when they were coming out, he was saying, we're tired of waiting for shit. Now we're gonna take it. This is these men are gonna take over. I'm gonna buy a new Bullet Club t-shirt.
They're hungry.
I'm all for it.
And that's the thing. I see people, very often, even this week, say Bullet Club needs to. Do you know how much T-shirts they still sell?
Yeah, I can imagine.
You cannot get rid of that brand. It's if they got rid of that brand, and as much as before this, I'd have been like, all right, cool, we're Man Like Evil, and then Man were in it, and they were running.
Yeah.
It's like, cool,
That was
you need to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
But it's like even then they were still selling T-shirts. So it's like, why not give it another lease of life and try again? And and if this fails, they'll try again.
Yeah.
And these new AEW, the Bullet Club Gold thing, you've seen these shirts. New Japan, AEW, Bullet Club Gold. Like, they're double branded now.
Yeah.
I think it could work.
I think
Just boot out House of Torture, boot out Chase Owens.
Yeah.
Chase Owens needs to be the first one.
No,
they've been feeling this to everyone.
How ELP?
No. How is he still in the G1?
How is he still making it?
Owens.
How has he still?
How much I respect someone who's kept a job in wrestling for so, and he does nothing.
He'll disappear, come back, come for G1, disappear again. He'll come back. He'll end up winning the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, lose it, then disappear again.
He's stolen a living for a decade. You know, my son was on New Japan World, right? And he's putting in Kenny Omega. He's scrolling through. He's like, how is Chase Owens tag team with Kenny Omega so much? I was like, I have no idea. It's amazing. the amount of matches this guy's had teaming with.
Like somebody who's hung on for dear. Like he's still there.
Him and Hangman were a tag team.
Yeah.
The faction has come, has rebranded, has turned to Japanese Bullet Club, has rebranded back as he's still there. At this point,
they forgot he was there. That's what it is. They actually forgot. HR just said, "Oh, he's still on payroll."
Of all the foreigners that have left, like New Japan over the last decade,
he's the most committed.
He is the one who was there, and obviously no one wants it. No offense to the guy. If I'm sure if someone wanted him, he'd go. But it's like he's still there after all this time, or whatever.
Yeah.
I respect that guy. Like you've got a job.
Keeping a job in
wrestling.
it's not easy. But as a consumer,
I'm not consuming.
I don't believe it.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem.
To this point, I don't remember how we got into Bullet Club.
I don't.
I genuinely just remember. I genuinely remember going onto the plug, watching New Japan. Wait, who's this guy? Why is he wrestling in the t-shirt? What the fuck? He's wearing kick pads.
Do you know what it is? When I used to see Chase Owens, like, okay, maybe one day he's gonna show me something. That one day has not come yet.
He hasn't come yet.
He's a fine wrestler. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's hanging on the fact that he beat Tanahashi in the G1. That's it.
How many years ago?
That's it's a good few years ago.
Boy.
But yeah, the Dan Maloney, I think, since he's been in New Japan, has been absolutely excellent, man.
You see Dan Maloney, when he first got announced for United Empire, I can't lie, I wasn't moved.
No.
For me, when I look at him, I don't see.
I don't see United
I
Empire.
don't see United Empire.
But you know what? At the same time, I just thought this is obviously, Will has acknowledged Dan Maloney before in it as one to watch in the country. I thought this was him just kind of obviously giving him a hand into Japan, which obviously it was at the same time.
Commentary made a good note of saying that, Will has done a lot to get this guy into United Empire, into New Japan as well.
So when he was there, wrestling, I completely hear you. There was no mesh, there was no synergy of him being a part of the group, and it was like that. Nothing. And even his position in the group, as a junior heavyweight, as a tag team, there wasn't really somewhere he could fit into. So him kind of now, he's literally just turned on them, and he's with Bullet Club. We got Coughlin. Alex Coughlin, I think, is excellent.
He's incredible.
Yeah. Gabriel, he's excellent. This with and what's he say? It's Connors as well. Yeah.
Connors.
Connors is good, man.
They're so good.
Connors, Coughlin. That
this is
trio
something
right
we can
there
get
is
behind
mad.
now.
And they're in a
And we need
position.
more, man. We need 20 man. Get rid of House of Torture. Get rid of Chase Owens. Get rid of Yujiro Takashi. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of Kenta.
Yujiro is another guy too. It's like he has been around.
He is stealing a living.
Oh my god!
And get rid of Kenta. I love Kenta, but get rid of him.
So what?
It's enough.
The thing with Bullet Club is there's bare divisions within the faction,
It's
right?
sick. Yeah, I can't lie. Bullet.
Subcategory.
Bare subcategories. So what it sounds like is this company runs all these businesses and they forgot that they've got this one over
Listen,
here.
do you know what it was?
They forgot there's
What, the
another.
subsidiary?
Yeah.
I can't lie. I think pandemic killed them. They were like, we can't get our foreigners here. We're gonna throw. Cool, evil. Cool. Show, free him.
Free Show, man.
No, because how is Yo
Justice
doing
for
better
Show.
than you? Yo is better than Show right now.
Justice for Show, man. He should be a 10-time junior
Heavyweight champ. Yeah.
I mean, with Hiromu in that division, I don't know if anyone's gonna win that title anytime soon because they need to free themselves from the shackles from Hiromu. Yeah. I love Hiromu, but he's held that
too much.
It's too much.
Sometimes you won the Best of Super Juniors three
times in a row.
Bro,
It's ridiculous.
He's still relatively young as well.
Yeah.
Like Roman.
No, I can't lie, man.
got a few more in him.
Whenever he loses this title, I need him on a 2-year probation period. Just don't win that title.
Well, he went to Mexico for ages. I'd like to see, to be honest with you, I'd like to see him go and just go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Go to Tour America, go work for AEW, go work for Impact, go work for Ring of Honor, go into Mexico and work for CMLL, and then go back,
Or have him
freshen
move up. Either graduate or just have him move up to the heavyweights.
bulk up.
Yeah, I'm tired, man.
He's
I'm
really
tired.
small though.
He's tight.
He's really small.
I remember when he was on excursion, he came to the UK for the Ring of Honor show.
Oh yeah,
He was small as hell.
Yeah.
So boy, for him to bulk up, it's gonna be.
I watched him wrestle Leo Rush years ago over here, and I knew Leo Rush was small, and I also know Hiromu was small. You see those two standing next to each other, like Hiromu Takahashi is fucking hulking over that dude. Right? It's amazing how
Leo is tiny.
Yeah, tiny.
Leo is tiny. The main event.
Wait, before we get
That's
there.
not the main event.
BCC lost.
Oh yeah, BCC versus.
And then
Oh, okay.
the vignettes.
First of all, that Trios match was cold. I can't lie. This Okada hating youngers gimmick, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And man, what's mad is he's still young.
Yeah.
Okada's
He's
still young.
30s, man. He's early 30s.
He's still young.
Do you know Claudio? I'm sure you know, but Claudio had to change in the car.
Yeah.
Because he came late.
He was
Yeah,
late.
he came late.
He had issues getting there.
Okay.
So they actually announced that he was running late. New Japan announced they had to change the order of the matches. So he changed in the car and he got there as the match was starting. So he wasn't there to have the match. It just went in there was a pro wrestler again.
Can't lie. The visual seeing Claudio doing the swing on Okada, doing the swing on Okada was mad. That was a crazy visual. I was like, raw. And then just show up. Yes.
Bro,
I'm starting, yes.
Bro,
Yeah. I'm starting, yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Bro, in the next 3-4 years, he's going to be main event in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching, I was thinking, this actually a young Tanahashi and Muta.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just watching, I'm thinking, I'm in awe. I'm just like, bro,
Do you know
this
what?
guy's
I
great.
thought before that, I thought he was missing something. I'm not going to lie. I thought I was watching him and I thought he was missing something. I don't know if it's teaming with Moxley and whatever reason, Moxley brings something out in him. He's comfortable around Moxley, but I saw so much more in him on the weekend than I had at any point before.
Yeah.
He was excellent, absolutely excellent. And I will say this as well: when Okada came out, like he come out and he's got his Inoki robe on and he walks down to the ring and he's looking at people. I was like,
what a fucking star. It's like, he's just such a superstar. He exudes everything that he wants. It's like, you don't even have to, like, my son don't speak Japanese. He watches this guy, and it's like, when he come out to the ring, my son was just like, yeah, it's like, he's a star. He's a star or whatever. Doesn't matter what promos he cuts or whatever, like, but he comes across as so important. Like, he's one of it. Like, you talk about generational talents and stuff. He's on another level to...
That's the top boy.
Yeah, everyone in wrestling. Don't get me wrong, there are people in wrestling that are superstars, but Jesus, like, he's like...
Everyone commands people. Just
just presence
like
alone. That he
there's no visual effects, there's no fancy camera work, it's just him.
No Lollywood camera tricks.
It's just him, you know.
But yeah, man. Obviously, after the match, you see Moxley grab the mic. He said, it's something to the effect of like, you think you're the best wrestler in the world? We train with the best wrestler in the world. As soon as they said, and he wants to say something, I said, there's no way.
I thought he was there.
I said, there's no way.
He was there.
They do the vignette.
I thought it was Kenny, right?
No. I don't want to see Kenny and Okada again, you know.
I definitely don't.
I don't want to see
together. It's cool. I don't
want to see them wrestle each other again. I'm good. Leave that one in the vault.
Yeah.
You just see them. We see like these little hills and mountains. Desert. Takes off the hood. You see Danielson and the pop he got from the Japanese crowd. I was like, okay. I was like, and then you said something like, you call yourself the Rainmaker or you're wrestling against something of the desert.
Yeah, I feel like it's in the desert.
Yeah. Desert.
And then, but you know what? And then obviously it pans back to Okada and the Japanese crowd are chanting, yes. And obviously Okada speaking the Japanese, commentary translate, but he basically accepts the challenge. But at first, I can't lie. I thought they weren't gonna do this match. I thought they were gonna do like Blackpool Combat Club versus. So like, even though I was gassed in the Discord, I was like, okay, let me wait till Monday until I get the official match graphic
announcement.
When I got the match graphic, I was like,
He filmed that in Vegas last weekend.
Yeah,
because he said he was at the presser last week. He was like, he was going hiking in the mountains or whatever. That's what he said. So he obviously filmed it when he did that.
Easter eggs.
No, I can't lie. This to me is like, obviously it's a dream match here, but like the magnitude of this match is bad to me because I feel like this is like, I think Bryan Danielson has had like one of the most interesting careers I've ever seen in wrestling. Because for me, it's like, he started off as like an indie darling or somebody like in ROH where he was loved by like the hardcore wrestling fan, but wasn't really known to like the mainstream public. And then his character, his run in WWE is completely different to what he is in ROH. And it's like he managed to reinvent himself and arguably become like one of the most over baby faces in WWE in the past decade and create one of the biggest moments in like wrestling. Then from that, go back to like his ROH roots and cater to like the hardcore like wrestling fan audience and put on that banger match after banger match after banger match. To me, he's like he's the most adaptable wrestler I've ever seen because it's like, cool, there are wrestlers that we say that can do both, but he's one of the only wrestlers that's actually done it. He's done it. Like he's okay, cool. I can I can cater my style towards, okay, the more casual fan, the more mainstream audience in WWE. But okay, years later, I'm still gonna be proved that I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world. Yeah. And it's like Danielson's career is it's a madness because there's not many wrestlers. There's many wrestlers that have the ability to do it, but there's not many wrestlers that have had a career where they've showed I can do this and that pretty much at the same time. Yeah. And it's like, for me, the reason why this is such a dream match, because if you told me 5 years ago this match would happen, it's lunacy. Like, it's madness. Like, what do you mean? The guy who main evented WrestleMania, the guy who did the Yes movement, is facing the biggest draw in Japanese wrestling over the past decade. Yeah. Like, this is what, and this is...
Even from a point, even from a point where I think just about 5 years ago, I think he had just come back out of retirement.
Yeah.
That's
and now
so mad.
This is where he is. Like,
this is what he's doing. And it's like, and then like, this is the true definition of a dream match for me because it's like, I don't see Danielson ever signing for New Japan or wrestling for New Japan as a permanent like worker there. So like, this is the definition of a dream match where it's like it took two companies to come together for this match to even exist, and this is why like when Forbidden Door was in talks, I was like, this is exactly what I want. These are the matches I will never get anywhere else.
This card, with only 2 matches on it right now, is probably better than whatever we got last year.
Oh,
and
clear.
Last year was excellent in terms of the actual show, but obviously we know how hampered it was with injuries and stuff like that.
Multi-man matches as well.
Multi-man matches.
These 2 matches that have been promoted, like you find me 2 better matches that have ever been promoted on pay-per-view, like ever.
Exactly.
You can't. It's impossible. And it's like, you know, Danielson. I will say this about Bryan Danielson: he was seen as one of the best in the world. Then he went to WWE, and I actually think that people forgot how good he actually was. Because, you know, he showed he was versatile, and, you know, he said it. He said in his book, his WWE book, he said that him and Claudio used to be frustrated, and they used to travel together, and they'd always complain. And then they realized, they goes, what we do here, we need to get in our mind that this isn't pro wrestling. And Bryan in his book said, this is a parody of pro wrestling. And as soon as we get in our head that this isn't really what we do,
we'll be mentally alright.
We'll be mentally okay. And it's like, that's
yourself into just getting the work done.
And that's when he kind of started goofing off, sort of thing, on the job. And that's when he kind of, you know, got over. But it's like he left, and then all of a sudden he's in the conversation. It's like people forgot how good he was. I remember leading into the Kenny match, it was like, yeah, Kenny's great. But, you know, let's see what this guy's got left. Because, you know, he had good matches in WWE, but not like what he's doing here. And it's like he goes in and he has a match with Kenny, and it's like, wow. And they could have done way more as well, but they were saving it.
And the thing is, with Danielson, in my opinion, like he's only been like he's joined AEW years after like everyone's come in. If you look at match resume, he has one of the best matches. Like if you just look at the list of matches Danielson's had in AEW, his catalog's ridiculous. You could argue say he's like probably at top 5. And that's like base top three. Top 3.
He's got there's not many.
There's not many.
Deep how big the roster is.
Yeah.
There's many man don't, and a lot of these man have been wrestling dark every week.
Yeah.
That man have a catalogue of 50 million matches.
Who are you looking at, right? You're looking at Kenny. The Bucks, and Bryan Danielson as far as having match quality. Like, no, Bryan Danielson, you can.
So would you guys say top 5?
Hangman's up there.
Hangman's up there.
Moxley.
Penta and Phoenix as well.
I don't know.
I'll say Phoenix is above Penta.
Yes,
as far as an act.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can make an argument, and I know people that think this, and I know people in wrestling that think that Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler that ever lived.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't even, and I can't argue.
In the last year, he creeps into my top 5. I took, who did I take out? I think I took out Randy Savage.
Yeah, fine.
And I put...
Randy's great. Yeah, Bryan's better.
Yeah.
I think Kenny Omega is the greatest wrestler I've ever seen. Like, bar none. I've never seen anyone as good as Kenny Omega. Bryan Danielson and Okada, they are right there for me.
I think, like, for me, the way I differentiate the two, I think Danielson's probably had, like, in terms of complete career, I think he has, like, one of the most complete careers I've ever seen.
He's worked longer than Kenny as well.
Yeah, and I feel like even with Kenny's had, like, an amazing run at the top in terms of, like, being the best wrestler in the world, I say, for, like, last 5 years. But the latter part of his career, I feel like with Danielson...
He was 3 years in.
Like, that Danielson, like, from the genesis of his career to, like, the twilight years of his career now, he's been the best.
In 2001, like, people were talking about this guy being the best. I'm not even exaggerating. I was there in 2001.
When he used to wear his blue shorts. And
wear the mask.
He was bold and
his matches with Loki, AJ, Chris Daniels, people were like, this guy.
Even beat Tanahashi early in his career as well.
He did. He did a lot. He worked over here. I've seen Bryan Danielson wrestle over here in front of 300. I saw him wrestle Tyler Black over here in front of 300 people. Like, you know, and it's, you know, same show as Kenny Omega wrestled El Generico over here. And it's just like, the guy, even then, he was excellent. I remember thinking, fucking hell, this guy, you'd think he'd having a night off. Nah, they put on like a 4.5-star match that day. You know,
it's crazy when you mentioned that he's been wrestling that long, because normally you would think that, cool, by this time, they will start to slow down. Their body's got wear and tear.
He slowed down. He took his break. He took
his break and retired, then came back. And so it was even slower.
He came back, but I feel like he's not going slow. I feel like he's...
No, I'm going to say WWE's when he went slower.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, he wasn't that. He was killing it, though.
He's having good matches. With Brock. That match with Brock is like...
Even early on with his stuff with like Chris Jericho, what's his name? Sin Cara, like Cody Rhodes. Like, he was killing it early on when he was like US champion as well.
So. But bro, like literally, even stepping into this year, like Danielson, like is like like Bandido, MJF, Takeshita.
Oh, he's been on fire.
Timothy Thatcher.
I think the Roosh match is one of my favourite matches.
Yeah.
It's like the shackles have come off and this guy's just gone. Speedy Gonzalez.
This is why he left. Like, again, people expect, you know, when he leaves, there's some type of shoot interview, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I wanted to actually wrestle. I wanted to do something different.
And he spoke highly of
Like,
WWE.
he spoke this is exactly it. Like, they don't cater to what I want to do with these latter stages of my career, innit?
Right.
So now he's at a place where he can have that flexibility and stuff.
I remember this match with Suzuki.
Oh, Rampage, fuck.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, you ain't bad.
Flog it.
Even the match with Eddie Kingston and Evil Uno.
That was cold. Yeah.
Kingston.
Bro, Hangman, the match is the
Rocky
two.
Romero,
The Hangman
Christopher
match.
Daniels, bro.
He's been.
Daniels, yeah.
The Hangman match, the hour draw.
Bro,
and the rematch.
even that tournament leading to Winter, he had a tournament leading to. Bro, he was killing it in that tournament, fam.
That was for the world title.
That's for the world title, bro.
Moxley, matches with Moxley.
Daniel Garcia.
Garcia had 2. Yeah.
Moxley.
Sammy, a really good match with Sammy Guevara.
Bro, like Danielson, man.
Oh, yeah, the match with Sammy Guevara as well.
Yeah,
was that like 2 out of 3? That's it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
They had that 4-way at Full Gear, which was an excellent. Him and Claudio and Jericho and Sammy.
Oh yeah, for the
That
Irish
was
title.
an
That was
excellent
a great match.
Like
Yeah.
everyone, Sammy was incredible in that match as well.
Sammy's amazing. Man.
Yeah, he is.
But
I
then-
love the guy.
And
So good.
then we're saying the year he's already had, and he's gonna add fucking Okada to that list.
Bro, remember his first AEW match with Kenny?
Omega. Yeah.
Bro, that was like Vegeta and
We need to-
Goku
we
moment.
still need an
We
answer
need to
to
run
that
it back.
match.
Yeah.
I bet we need to run it back.
I can't lie.
That's
You
coming.
know what? I don't think we even need an answer.
No,
I
we
don't
do.
want an answer.
No,
I don't want an answer. Leave it open. Leave it open for life.
Nah,
For life.
do you know what it
That's
is?
it. You don't need
As
it.
great as that match was, you can see they were leaving stuff on the table.
Yeah.
As great as that match, and
Bro,
that,
I told you, Vegeta and Goku, bro.
I said
they
this when I
can't
watched it
beat
at the
each
time.
other.
I don't think these men got out of gear too.
They didn't.
no,
Like,
Where
I'm
was-
just thinking,
where
like,
was the
there's
one
so
Wicked
much-
Angel stuff?
Yeah.
Where was it? Like,
There's so much that hasn't actually
and
happened.
even
within
and even
that
back and
match,
even then, Kenny Omega was fucking banged up. Like he left television.
Spinning.
a month later,
he was
got-
champion then, innit?
Yeah, he was champion then.
A month
So
later, he lost
Listen,
the title.
you see, if them man went full gear on us, they would have given us so much wrestling. We wouldn't watch wrestling for the rest of the year.
no, we would.
We will just watch that one match, and that's us done for the year.
It's one of them
I'm
ones where
satisfied.
it'll just spoil you. Like you after you see something as excellent as that, you can't help but then just compare everything. Like this is the bar. Like it'll become difficult to be watching other matches.
They
like,
saved 6 generations right
But
now
at the
by
same
keeping
time,
on gear one.
At the same time, I feel like Forbidden Door already spoiled. How could you have Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega on the same pay-per-view as Danielson and Okada?
do you
That's
realise-
spoiling.
Do you realise
What is that?
them men are going to be in competition with each
With
other?
each other.
They are going to. Who's going on after? Who's following that? Who's
Yeah.
following who?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I have to put a tag match in between.
Like I said, Christian ones.
Bushimon or something,
Best
yeah.
friends or something like that. They have to do
Trust
something
me.
like that.
Kenny and Will Ospreay, I tell you what, because even that first match they did in January, also they left loads on the table as well.
Yeah.
And I bet this won't be the last one because they're going to come again. They're going to go for a third.
I think they're
one.
gonna. I think they're gonna do the trilogy all in.
Oh, this is
I'm
too much.
I'm looking forward to that match. Will Ospreay, the guy is best in the world for me right now. It's like he is so excellent.
But when we say best in the world, what world are we mentioning? Because Kenny's the best in the world. Brian's the best in the
That's the
world.
standard that we're messing with.
Which
That's
one?
the standard.
How many worlds
if,
we talking?
if you're looking at it just like based on accolades,
Yeah.
like Will Ospreay at this point, the amount of 5-star plus matches he has, it's like
look at the output.
Yeah.
The output is Will Ospreay, and I remember when he was on the podcast, and I said to him, "How do you? Doesn't matter who you're working in front of. Every match is a Tokyo Dome main event, and it's like I'm sure you regret some of that now, or whatever. But it's like the output is incredible, and it's because you imagine. I know that leading up to that Forbidden Door, there was a lot of pressure on him and Kenny to perform, and I could only imagine what it was like leading up to that, and
Wrestle Kingdom,
leading up to that, like they put a lot into that match, and you could see, and it's like this one is going to be even bigger because it's going to be to a Western audience on pay-per-view, and the pressure to beat last time. And
then
the mad thing is, I've got no doubt that they'll do it as well.
Yeah.
probably will.
Yeah, it does.
Probably will go.
They got the pressure to beat last time, but then also they got
Danielson.
They got Danielson. And the thing is, those just too much. We don't know what other matches are on the show.
But at the same time, we're saying they're going to
don't
beat
need other
them.
matches.
There's just too much
Oh,
cards.
there's too much cards.
Yeah.
Pre-show.
Give them 40 minutes each. Too much card. Yeah, why not? I feel like they're still going to leave stuff on the table if they've got all in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's,
bro, I can't like
that one has to be the coronation of Will Ospreay.
Okay, but here's the thing.
all
I think Will Ospreay's winning at Forbidden Door.
Oh, you reckon?
Here's the thing, right? He doesn't work there, bro. So it's like, do you have him go over in Wembley when he doesn't work there?
But it's for the US title though. It's not their title.
I wouldn't. It's my show. I wouldn't have the guy go over on my show.
But,
and this is old pro wrestling me or whatever.
Okay.
But unless he's gonna sign there,
Exactly. So I was gonna say, what if this is incentive for you to?
I'm sure that we don't know what conversations they've had.
Yeah.
Right, we don't know. I know I know, and he said it when he was on a podcast that he wants to continue working for New Japan. He can do that if he works for Tony Khan.
Yes.
The same way that Jay White can as well. But unless he has agreed to that, I would not have the guy win on my show. I wouldn't do it. Like
Forbidden Door, though?
that's different.
Yeah.
That's
But
different
not the
because
one
it's a joint promotion show. But at an AEW show, do you have him beat Kenny Omega? Maybe you do. Maybe Kenny's leaving and Will's staying. So we don't know now.
Yeah. I think. Well, they've said Will's contract is up next year. I think if you have like a gentleman's agreement in place that Will is going to sign for AEW at some point next year,
That'd be a very rich man.
Yeah, I don't think there's any harm in doing it. Like, you want to be sending the fans home happy, and you want to see Brits go over in Britain. Like, I think it's have Kenny win here. And then, down the line, maybe.
Kenny wins in Canada and Will wins in the UK.
It's in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, but that's why I think Kenny should lose.
I feel like it should be the other way. I feel like Kenny should lose in Canada, and if they were to do number 3, Will Ospreay loses.
Would Kenny Omega be a bigger babyface in the UK than Will Ospreay?
Ooh.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Not that people are going to boo Kenny. The British fans are going to go mad for Will.
But
that's what I think it's going to be.
Considering how popular Kenny is.
Kenny is.
I don't know, bro. Considering
how
popular Kenny is.
No, I'll back that the British fans will go mad for Will.
That's
I feel like they'll back him, but at the same time,
it's Kenny.
Kenny.
Okay.
I feel like
put it this way. On entrances, everyone's gonna go mad for both men. When it comes to the match, though, I feel that everyone's gonna take both sides.
I don't know.
That's how I feel.
Actually, do you think they'd have to? They'd have to.
Yeah,
they have to. For patriotism.
Who's going to be all in?
Yeah,
I will.
You're going to be all in. Who are you cheering for? We don't even know if they won.
I'm cheering for AEW. I'm cheering for AEW.
Both these guys.
In fact, I'm cheering for Wrestling Podcast. Quickly. Yeah. I went on to ChatGPT and I asked it, okay, cool. I've put both of the rosters for New Japan and AEW. Give me a card for Forbidden Door. Let me see what you guys think about ChatGPT's card. So, opening match, they've put Darby Allin versus Hiromu Takahashi.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
They've put
absolutely
follow that.
A trios match of House of Black versus LIJ, Tetsuya Naito, Titan, and Bushi.
I'm good with that. I think Naito should be a single, but
I think Naito should face MJF for the title.
We'll get to that. Singles match, Bryan Danielson versus Okada.
Yes.
Okay.
Tag team match, the Young Bucks versus TMDK. Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes.
That's not bad.
That could be fun. On paper, it'll be a good match. It'll be a great match.
But I think the Bucks should do something else.
They're
stars, bro.
Like, AEW Women's Championship match, Jamie Hayter versus Mayu Iwatani.
Yeah.
Is Mercedes going to be free? No, she's not.
No, she's injured as well still.
She's not. They're in Boston. Collision's going to be in Boston coming up.
Might see her in the crowds. Oh my God, it's Mercedes.
I've been hearing a lot about the first episode of Collision. There's a big, there's going to be a new sign in that Collision.
Also,
another one
on the opening show.
But women.
I don't know.
It's me, guys. It's me.
I don't know. I've just been told,
It's Sam Blacks.
Could be Bill Goldberg.
That's why he's not here.
Goldberg.
I mean, if they're phasing Collision,
do you know what?
Nitro,
I think Goldberg will make an appearance at AW this year.
Could be Bill Goldberg. Could be Mercedes, even though she's not fit. I think she's still on. She might be on crack. I don't know, but she could be there. You know.
We had the tag team match, Best Friends versus Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb.
No.
No. AEW World Championship, MJF versus Shingo.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's not bad.
Shingo. Yes.
That's fine.
Yes, that's a good match. That's a great match.
Yeah, Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega.
Aside from the tag matches, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I suggested earlier on when I was talking to you, I said Orange Cassidy should work Sonata because he can lose to Sonata, and I think that would be a good match.
Orange Cassidy versus Sonata would be good.
International champion.
No, he'll lose that tonight. We'll lose that tonight, and he can work for the WGP title.
Yeah.
He's not gonna. If he loses tonight, I mean, he's been
I mean, the stories that he's been beaten up and he's
I want him to lose tonight.
Yeah,
I genuinely because I feel if he doesn't lose tonight, then what we doing here? Like, he's run out of legs.
I think Swerve has got so much. He's got so much potential to be a main event star. He's so good as a babyface and heel as well. They stumbled on him, and I don't know what the situation was with him and Keith Lee in December. I really don't. I don't know if the reason why we haven't had that match. I think it's because they don't think Keith Lee can work a singles match.
You were saying something about his health to me,
Yeah, I've said that, and I've asked people, and they've asked people in AEW, and they're not saying, no one's saying anything about Keith Lee. So as soon as he came back, they put him in a tag team with Dustin Rhodes. Why? Why did you do that? You know,
moving WWE.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that they were waiting for Swerve and Keith Lee, and I don't think it's happening. So it's like, cool, we'll just move Swerve. We'll move him on.
I feel like sometimes in wrestling, we need to know when to move on.
So I think you can come back to it. If Swerve wins the title, maybe at some point when Keith is fit, they can just revisit it quickly.
And since he's come back, they put him with Nana and Cage, and it's good. Looking back on it,
it's better.
It's better than what it was with those two guys. But I will say this: looking back on it, really, and I remember at the time we were talking about this because I wasn't sure. If you remember, it was him and Keith Lee were teaming, and they were kind of feuding, but we weren't sure if they were both turning heel.
Yeah.
So looking back on it, they should have just had them turn heel, and Keith could have been his heater.
Yes.
Both of them should have turned heel.
Especially if they wanted to protect him from health reasons or anything to do.
They should have
Keith
just
can
done
wrestle
that.
or whatever. That would have been the
Keith in Swerve's corner.
Yeah.
Especially because for whatever reason they think that Swerve needs a heater and a team.
Yeah.
So
Keith was already there.
Keith was already there. Yeah.
And he's not the only one because looking back on it, and it's like you do things you don't know in hindsight. But
of course.
Starks and Hobbs as well. Looking at that now, they should have just kept Starks heel and just had Hobbs with him. They shouldn't have done any of that.
Yeah.
You know, because Starks has done all right. Starks had a program with Jericho. The problem with AEW is the follow-ups are horrible.
Yeah.
He beat Jericho clean twice, had 2 decent matches, and after that, he gets beaten up every week.
And I think he's going to lose tonight. Well, he should lose tonight. He should lose tonight.
Yeah.
I think that's
if he beats Jay White,
I'm pissed off.
Oh yeah, that's
we're gonna talk about it.
You know,
Tony Khan,
tonight.
you're a bad boy. Tony Khan, you are a bad boy.
No, I can't lie. If they beat Jay White, I'm
beats Jay White.
But I thought Jay White might lose soon though.
We have to call it emergency podcast.
Jay White can't lose this soon though.
If he's losing, he needs to lose to a star.
Yeah, no, that's what I think.
CM Punk beats Jay White, I'm fine with that because it's CM Punk.
Yeah, of course.
That'd be a cool match.
I think that's a Forbidden Door match, you know.
Punk White.
I think it's a tag match, but then I was talking to someone today and they said, is CM Punk going to be happy being put in a multi-man tag match on his first match back?
Because look at his legs.
It doesn't matter. Is he going to be happy with that? And a part of me is like, he's not going to be happy with that.
Sometimes you like fantasy and reality. There's like your body doesn't meet what your mind wants.
Of course.
Man's been injured how many times?
Because of a guardrail.
Because of a guardrail and then
and a failed box shot.
Oh, never again.
Leave other people's moves.
I hope his game plan this time is just to be safe.
Yeah.
And not to come out of his realm of moves that he can and can't do, and not to be too delusional and excited that you now jump into the crowd.
But you know what?
Don't get me wrong, as a man, that sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, we get excited, you know, adrenaline moves us. But then, never in my life have I heard anybody go and decide to jump over a guardrail and it breaks their legs.
But do you know what it is? Drink milk.
If you need to drink alcohol, drink milk, bro.
Do you know what I think it is? Because he's been doing mad things. Because even before the box shot, he was doing Pepsi plunges off the top rope against MJF.
Yeah.
Shout out! You see from that move.
You stopped doing that for 15 years for you to now come and do it.
You see from that point onwards. It was a ticking time bomb. Then you wanted to do box shot lariat at the next pay-per-view. Your legs gave up.
His leg done box.
It was going to give up.
Yeah.
It was about time.
Him,
it was going to give
up.
up.
He didn't even practice it. It's not like he had a mat in a ring one day and said, let me just try it. Let me see if I feel good to do it. He just thought, fuck it, we're going to do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
it felt good in the moment,
his
didn't it?
bicep against Moxley. The pay-per-view and the tope, he tore his bicep. So
this is not something that should be wrestling.
I'm so sorry.
Lincoln, I'm sorry to tell you.
He shouldn't be wrestling.
This is not something that should be wrestling.
He's fragile.
This is someone that should be doing theatre. Because that's theatre. He should be acting. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Multi-man matches are for him.
It's not
just do your hot tag.
Hot tag.
Do your clothesline. Do your calf kick. Run to the corner. Do your shiny wizard. Do your clothesline.
But even some of these hot tags. Remember the match with FTR with the bad hot tag?
And then he tried to jump in the ring that day and tricked on the
come
I couldn't even do the hot tag properly.
He's had too many fail moments.
That was when he broke his ankle, though. That's
Yeah.
He broke his ankle before the match. When he jumped the rail, so that's why.
Oh,
I remember, he couldn't stand on the top rope properly.
CM Punk, you've been a bad boy.
You know what? He's back next Saturday, and he's got. There's so much riding on next week in terms of what happens with him, the number, the gate. There is so much riding on him and his impact on the company going forward, because the Saturday shows aren't doing well so far.
Yeah.
But hopefully him showing up will give people incentive to go, but there's a lot riding on him coming back. Is he going to have the same impact as before? Is he going to be booed? He's not going to be booed next week.
No.
But the following week and the week after that.
And then Canada.
Yeah, and then in Canada, what is going to happen there? What is going to happen?
Crucify Winnipeg.
Foreign
They're
ground.
gonna crucify him. Crucify
Winnipeg.
That's not the king of the Jews.
Yeah, there is so much going on with CM Punk and AEW situation, which is just like long-term stuff with CM Punk and AEW. Like, that is him coming back. And the next few months, it's going to set the status for a lot of AEW over the next few months. So I'll leave it at that.
Generally, I do want him to do well.
I hope he
I
does
want
well.
him to have a long run, because at this rate, if it happens again, please don't come back.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And the truth, when he's there, it's better.
Yeah.
He's great.
It's true.
Yeah, like he adds to the product.
Yeah.
It's just like it's addition by subtraction though. It's like all the you add something, but then
there's drama.
There's constant. Even just forget about the drama. He's been injured.
Yeah.
And these are real things that you have to consider. What's the use of you being the draw if you're missing half of the year?
You're not there, yeah.
And if he's not there, those Saturday shows, the star power on them shows
turn
now.
back into
I'll be honest, you see,
Andrade, those guys aren't.
Because them man ain't been on TV.
You see
Yeah,
CM
stars
Punk,
like that,
CM Punk is like a vintage car. He's nice to look at, but the mileage is high. So he can fall apart at any time, bro. That's CM Punk.
You make it seem like he's mad old. He's not even that old.
He's like,
You look at the performance.
But look at his age mates like AJ Styles. Them man are
Brother, he was sitting down doing nothing,
was writing comics.
getting dust, brother.
But respectfully, he was never an athletic person.
He was never an athlete. Like, he was just...
Nah, but he wasn't getting injured like this now.
I mean, when he faced Ryback, he did.
nah, you know
Bro, that
what?
was Ryback's fault.
Look, years and years of wear and tear. He worked a hard style. When he went to UFC, his body was completely broken then. Like, people were skeptical about him doing that. Because
Dana White's a criminal as well, by the way, for licensing that. But yeah.
He didn't license it. He didn't license it. I mean, he signed him. It was the...
He knew what he was doing when he
Well,
signed
as the
Punk.
commissions that licensed him, he passed. I mean, he fought guys that were 0-0 and 0-1 and stuff like that, so it's not an issue. But he was just he was broken when he started training anyway. So the fact that he's done all that years later and he's come back to wrestle, I'm not surprised he broke his ankle jumping over a guardrail and all that stuff. It's like tore his bicep on a tope. It's like good luck to the guy. I really hope it works out for him. But
I do. For the sake of the product, I
yeah,
do.
I'm skeptical though of all of this. The fact that they've got him on one show and the other, so to me it's just poor management, and I just don't like any of it personally.
I do hope he does well.
Yeah, of course.
We'll put AEW Collision in our prayers.
As I said, nice car, high mileage.
What's
That's
AJ
CM
Styles?
Punk. AJ Styles, vintage car, low mileage.
Low
Low
mileage.
mileage.
Yeah.
He's not gonna work.
mileage is
He's
high.
not gonna work this year, Punk.
But he's not getting injured like Punk now.
He just services his karma off.
That's-
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just check
He
the
just
car.
serves.
Even quickly, Yota Tsuji.
Oh!
Sonada.
Yota! I'm invested.
Yota's very good.
I'm invested.
He's excellent. They both look like stars. I can't lie
as
to you.
champion. Like, he's obviously he's great, Sonada, but I just don't know if I'm buying him as champion.
I feel like this match has made me invested. I can't lie to you.
I was impressed with him when I watched, because I didn't watch the match then. I watched it after, and I was like, he's got something here.
Like, I felt like I was watching the mid-2000s New
Do
Japan.
you know what?
Yeah, I'll give
Outside
him that.
of,
I'll give him
Yeah,
that.
I know what you mean.
I think the problem for me is that it's almost like the cloud of Okada is there. Like, and that's how I just feel like it's not that he's not doing a good job. It's just that I know at any moment they could just revert back to this. And that's why I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, my body's like not letting me get invested.
Enjoy the ride, man.
But I do feel though, come Wrestle Kingdom time, because I feel G1 climax, I feel like my prediction is Ospreay to win.
Okay.
And I feel like they're going to do another Ospreay Okada match at some point.
Which means
100%.
Sonata's going to drop the title.
But I feel like that's close. Like, I feel like that match.
Ospreay needs to beat him.
Yeah.
Ospreay
I feel like.
to be Okada.
He needs to beat Okada.
I feel like Sonata will be champion going into G1, and then maybe like at a power struggle or something. That's when we'll see him drop the title, because I feel Wrestle Kingdom season they need to sell tickets and all
But if
that.
Ospreay leaves, you have him beat Okada though.
No.
If he's leaving, Will Ospreay at the G1. I tell you what, boy, that guy, his body, he's not going to slow down anyway. But it's like, oh man, that guy after G1 is going to feel like he's been hit by a car or whatever. Tanahashi in G1 as well is something where I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
Like,
I can't lie. Tanahashi in G1 is mad to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Tanahashi and G1
forget
is
about
a very slow match. So Tanahashi and Chase Owens.
Unless it's a night off, like Yano, if you wrestle Yano, it's a night off for people to,
Or Chase Owens.
Could we live in a world where Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom becomes IWGP champion and still debuts for AEW as IWGP champion?
It could happen. I mean, it could happen. I'm sure. I've thought about it. Probably happened before at some point. But do you give the guy a world title that's going to leave and he's going to? I mean, if he's working with your partner,
That's the thing. It's like leave.
Yeah,
Like it's a sideways move, innit?
If he's going to leave and work with your partner, I don't know.
I don't know. It'd have to be a thing where maybe he signed in AEW in principle, but he hasn't necessarily because I feel like once he works that TV schedule, like let's say like working weekly and then going back to Japan to do like these big pay-per-views, I don't know.
Which is not every week. It's like, here and there. Like he could. I think I'm thinking more of a way to kind of, not that he needs to introduce him to the US crowd, but like to really bolster his status. I'm looking at what they've done with Jay White, and I'm thinking,
Don't do that with Ospreay.
Don't do it.
they dare not do it with Ospreay. So like we bring him in as a champion. We know the belt and where that's come from, and obviously his history over there. He can just be a champion basically in name in AEW, but that's like obviously not their title. And then eventually, maybe at the next opportunity or whatever, he drops it. But it's like he at least is debuted in that kind of way.
But Obari did an interview a couple of weeks ago where he spoke about the pandemic and the effect it had on New Japan.
Yes.
And we didn't realise, obviously we didn't know, but how close they were
To shut him down.
to shutting down.
New Japan?
Yeah.
That's how he said that. And it's like you look at the people that have left since then, since that period, even though they're back on the road and they're starting to do business again, it obviously still has an effect on them for not making any money for all those years. So it's not the worst thing in the world to lose Ospreay's salary for him to go to your partner, and then you can get him back for big days.
And plus, especially now we see that
you can't pay him what he's gonna get over there, or if he went WWE, you couldn't pay him that.
That's true.
I guess right now as well, because they're building talent like Yota Tsuji, they've got obviously Shota in the wings. They've got Ren Narita.
Like they've got a lot of
man.
new kids that
All
they
the
could
new
actually
guardians,
build the company
really
on.
good kids.
That's what I said on Indie Takers, like this is a renaissance, a revival of what New Japan should be, and I'm liking the direction that it's going in. Do you know what I mean?
Also, your boy is in the G1, fam.
Which one, boy?
Yes, Kiyomiya.
Kiyomiya.
What goes he's going to be doing, but
I can't lie.
Is he gonna beat Okada in G1?
He needs to get his lip back. Get his lip back.
That's a gap.
Get his lip back. He has to.
Big scout.
Man hit you with the emerald flow shit. That finish to that Noah match. He needs to get his lip back.
I mean, to be fair, if Jonah obviously got a win over Okada last year,
Anything's possible.
This could happen, and this very much makes sense.
yeah, which is true, but at the same time, is that what he wants? Like, you can get the win at G1, but we will know like a G1 win over Okada. Like, even me, if they put me in G1, I'm beating Okada.
Yeah, it doesn't. But
10-minute match.
It's
I promise you, I'll give you a 10-minute classic.
It's one of them ones where it's in name, innit? It's just something they can say.
But I thought
we know it don't really mean
freestyle
much.
match.
Yeah, I think I could get a freestyle match with Okada.
Yeah, he could.
easy.
In 10 minutes.
no, but I
freestyle,
say, let's say you have him, he beats Okada at G1, right? Then maybe you set up like another singles match at like the Wrestle Kingdom Noah collaboration, another like third time's a charm, and then maybe you have him go over there. So like you set precedent, like okay, Kiyomiya has the ability to beat Okada, but this was G1. Now if we do it like at either like the New Japan versus Noah show, or at another big Noah show where Kiyomiya finally gets a win over Okada, I feel like set him up here, like start something here. Because that first match, as much as I love that match. That match was great. And if that's the only Kiyomiya and Okada match we get, fine. But just for the Noah fans, I don't want them to have that match be like a bad taste in their mouth because it was disrespectful.
Like if the N1 wasn't so close to the G1, I would have put Okada in the N1. Like I would have been like, listen, you don't want to go to Noah. We're forcefully putting you there, and we know that Okada hates Noah. Like, he doesn't give a shit about this. But if you're the best, prove you're the best out there. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that he should run roughshod on everyone, but you should give him a hard time.
That's a shoot too.
Yeah,
the way they are over there, it's like.
Him versus Nakajima will kick his head off.
Like, yes.
Jake Lee kick his head off. Keno kick his head off.
I'm sure he legitimately feels that those companies are beneath them. I'm sure he does feel that way.
I think I hear him.
He's right.
He's right.
I
hear him.
No, even I can't like even Okada's attitude is hilarious. I know he was talking in kayfabe, but the way he was talking about Danielson and that
I know. I heard it's good,
stinks and I love it.
He was like,
The thing is, he's so positive about his attitude as well. Like, he doesn't care about these niggas, but it's just like
he's like, I really been watching what Danielson's been doing in W, but they say he's good in it, so like, I'm a wrestler minute. Like, this is what the people want, but you know. Oh, Okada, man, what a guy.
Should we run
Ask Wrestlings?
Ask Wrestlings, where we get you the people to ask Wrestlings some bloody questions.
Hey, you ain't had someone say that correctly in a while.
I'm dead.
Everyone always butchers it.
We will be watching it
I've been
in your
remixing it. First question is from our guy Atlas. Big you up every single time, bro.
Big up Atlas.
He asked, who should face MJF at Forbidden Door?
I say give me Shingo or Naito. I think one of the LIJ people. I think Naito in terms of like character dynamics.
Yeah. That's why
it'll be mad. It'll be mad interesting. Yeah. But in terms of like a match, I got MJF and Shingo.
Naito's character is fantastic.
Yeah.
His character is so fantastic.
I love him.
I'd be up for Ishii, and the reason why is because MJF's gimmick is that he hates New Japan. So it's like, all right, cool. You hate New Japan, right? Cool. Here's someone who personifies New Japan and the style that you hate.
Yeah.
And he could go in there and Ishii could knock the shit out of him. And he'll lose too.
Yeah, and he can lose.
And he can lose too, but Ishii can headbutt him, chop him, kick him.
He's
MJF can get colour.
Yeah.
Greatest loser I've
And
ever
he'll
seen.
he'll run out.
Do you know what it is? Like, in the match, you know he's going to lose. But he will convince you, he'll be like, raw, we might win this, you'll lose.
Lie to yourself.
Ishii is the best wrestler, main event wrestler in New Japan to never win the world title. Facts. There's no one better than that. He's one of the greatest wrestlers.
I would just say Hiroki Goto, but since he becomes
he's declined.
Wrestler, he's declined.
He's declined since
his G1 run from
G1
2020.
Listen, but how does he...
Even later ones, even 18 and stuff, he was good.
Yeah, even G1 Climax 26, bro.
He was incredible.
He was that again?
The one Omega one.
But the one after that and the one after that, he had a few really good matches.
But then he won that three. He's won like 3 G1 climaxes, right, or something like. He's
2, isn't it?
2. Perennial loser, man.
Nah, he's a hell of a wrestler.
He's incredible though.
Next question from our guy Gabe. Name 3 UK songs that could be used as themes for AEW All In. Could be for the show or for wrestlers.
UK themes. Any Iron Maiden song.
Any UK songs.
It's got to be a bit of gigs. I don't know what gigs though. I don't want to. I mean, talking hardest is that. I don't want that.
You think
wait. Sorry. Repeat the question. Repeat the question. I'm not processing.
Name 3 UK songs that could be used as themes for AEW.
They're going to use a Stormzy or somebody.
Yeah, Stormzy's popular.
Way too big for your boots.
Way too big.
I want to roll my eyes, but
who has a move with a big boot?
Big Bill, I don't know.
Big Cass. Big Cass.
Do you know what? Since Daniel Garcia should come out to Heady One or something.
Yeah,
he likes
to no better.
Any celebrities at All In? Do you think any British celebrities?
Some
not working, but I mean, who's gonna
British celebrities
show up in the crowd?
Segments or whatever.
From Love
Wayne Rooney, I don't know.
Wayne Rooney, because he's had that WWE segment.
It's gonna be a football player or something.
Yeah.
Ricky Hatton enjoys pro wrestling. I don't know.
I don't think he's a draw these days.
No, he's not.
No.
Adele, I'd love to see Adele.
Anthony Joshua, there you go.
Maybe.
Anthony Joshua.
Pro wrestling.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua's a good shout.
Maybe you have what's this? Nines. So 9 stream is in Wembley after all.
I see you shining there.
I see you shining.
Yeah, that's it.
Next question from our guy in the bill. Big up every single time, bro. He asks, What's your thoughts on the idea of airing All In on free to view on ITV?
I can answer that one. Go on.
I would like it except for the adverts.
Yeah.
The adverts would piss me off. Imagine in the middle of Kenny Omega's entrance, we just see a Love Island advert.
Just eat.
Somebody say just eat. No, that'll piss me off. Well, I'll be watching it on TV, so I'll be alright.
Yeah. The plug. Anyone?
Oh,
using the plug?
Nah.
Using the plug?
Midday still.
Nah, the ITV thing, the AEW and ITV, it's like, I mean, if they gave AEW a big check, but I don't see an incentive to do that for AEW because I don't really think that the viewership wouldn't be there really for that. I mean, pro wrestling on UK television has never really done anything special anyway, even for a big show like that. I legit don't think it would. I mean, AEW is the most popular wrestling show in the UK in terms of viewership, but even then, it's like, the show does like 100,000 people on ITV4, and when it's on ITV every week, the regular ITV1, and it does 100 plus people, but 1,000 people, but you put All In on TV, it's like, is it really going to do better than an episode of Coronation Street or something?
No,
It's not, and
no.
it's you're going to do it live on ITV4. No, you want it on ITV1, and it's just like it's not going to do as well as those shows. So I don't see an incentive. They're best off just leaving it on pay-per-view, or
probably wouldn't even put it on like live.
They couldn't because of the blood and everything else. So it's not going to work. So.
Oh yeah.
And you don't want to tone down
Watershed.
show. Yeah, you don't want to tone down show.
Watershed. Yeah, fuck yeah, you can't do that.
For people to complain, they complain about everything on TV these days. So it's like, imagine what those people do if they saw
especially
AEW.
with John Moxley, the blade is gonna be
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
The blood is gonna pour that.
Off comes
Booming.
booming.
It was too violent. Little Jimmy
telling
was
you.
watching.
My
telling
children, they saw all that blood.
My son just cut me with a razor. He said I'm blading.
Screwdriver.
These times your son goes to school with a machete in his bag.
He started hitting people in the head with a screwdriver.
Next question from my guy Samuel Frimpong. Big up every single time, bro. What other matches would you like to see at Forbidden Door?
I think we said Hiromu Derby is something I want to see.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
They were in a multi-man match. Was it last year?
No, they were supposed to be. Hiromu was
They were
injured.
injured, of course. Yeah.
I want to
And
see
they
Orange
replaced him with
Cassidy. I want to see Orange Cassidy get a
Big
singles
match.
match. I think
Yeah.
he's really
He's
worked
earned it.
hard. Yeah,
He's
big
earned
time.
Yeah, I want him in a big match.
What does Hangman do? Forgot about Hangman. What does he do?
Hangman Shingo?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Crazy.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
Yeah.
That's the
That's a great match.
Okay, so hold on, right? So last week, Hangman said that they said, Kenny's in Canada, and Hangman goes, no, he's not in Canada. So it's obviously where he's gone, all right?
Yeah.
We thought he was going to show up at Dominion. He didn't do that. So he's obviously gone to Japan to talk to a mate, all right? So does Kenny Omega come back with Kota Ibushi before Forbidden Door
I think it's after.
or after
I
Forbidden
think
Door?
after.
Because you can't.
Maybe at
Forbidden Door.
Maybe at.
Maybe at.
I mean,
Because
unless,
At or after, but not before.
yeah,
because he's coming in. He's gone to. That's
Yeah,
obviously the way. That's
he's
where we're
coming.
going here.
Yeah. But unless New Japan and Kota Ibushi have resolved their issues,
He said
they have.
He said they have.
Interesting.
sign him back again. I want him back.
In New Japan.
Yeah,
He said that.
his title wasn't complete. It's not complete to me.
That title run.
It's not complete.
It's his fault that.
Yeah, it's
It's
his
gone,
fault
yeah.
Because I wish you've been a bad boy.
Come and fix it.
No, he said when he goes to, if he signs with AEW, he's not going to be there. Every week, obviously. He said once a month he'll go do stuff and he'll come home because he's got a school now, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but yeah.
Let someone else run the school, man.
I want. Another person I want to see on the pay per view, Desperado. Do something.
yeah.
Yeah, he's had a good year. as well.
He's got a match with John Moxley next month.
Death
People
match.
just gonna kill each other.
Does Despy do a death match at Forbidden Door? Like,
I would
who
love
would he work?
Mox again.
Yeah, Mox hasn't got.
Yeah,
ain't got enough
because
right now.
I feel like what Mox is gonna do, he's gonna be putting like a BCC thing where it's gonna be like a trios match, him, Claudio, and Utah versus a team.
Which is
Because I feel like we're not gonna get we're gonna get multi-man matches. Like I feel like
fine.
where like we've got these two matches, and I'm saying maybe two more singles matches, and then the rest of the card's gonna be multi-man, which I'm fine with, to be honest.
They could do the elite like Bucks and someone Bucks and
Hung Bucks.
Hung Bucks
Bucks.
against Shota, Claudio and Mox because that's a New Japan kind of thing. Because Shota's in this, they could do that.
Yeah.
You know, this feud ain't ended for a while because there's so much more.
I think it goes all the way to Blood and Guts.
I think after that, I think we're leading into. There's so many combinations that you can go.
Yeah,
we've only seen one match or two matches. They could do that again.
Please,
we're gonna get that again. We're gonna get that.
Please get that again.
Bryan and Omega's gonna be a byproduct to this feud as well.
Yeah.
So,
we're gonna get Danielson and Moxley against the Bucks as well. Do you know how sick that's gonna be?
Beef
next question from Mr. Frimpong again. If Cody's not in it, who else would you like to see win the Money in the Bank that you could see becoming champion in the next 12 months?
And this is why LA Knight can't win.
For the secondary title, yeah.
Wait, why, mate?
But he's not on the same show.
Who gives a fuck? I've seen people.
Well, I mean, if they want to honour that, innit?
Because the thing is,
mate, so I don't understand why.
Because I think he'll be an excellent character with a briefcase, without doubt. But will he become the next champion?
Okay,
that's the
that
issue.
makes sense.
for the
He's a clown. Like, no offense to him.
So it's hard to take him seriously.
He's also not fucking that good, bro. It's like he's got a cool.
He's not bad.
He's not bad.
But he's not the
He's
best.
decent work. He's actually a decent
Yeah,
worker.
he says yeah a lot, you know. But
Yeah.
The whole crowd say yeah now, you know. When he says his name, when he goes LA Knight, everyone goes yeah.
here's the world title because they say yeah.
But I feel like,
Yeah, why not?
for the secondary title, I can't lie.
Give Tyrus a fucking title for being fat.
No, Tyrus though. Tell LA Knight to go work there. He get the world title.
He was there.
He was there.
He was there. But no, I feel like, do you know what? For this title, like, because whoever wins Money in the Bank, in my opinion, is not touching Roman. Like, that's just a given. So for me, whoever wins this Money in the Bank, like, Seth, respectfully, he's a great wrestler, but he's somebody, like, it's easy for me to see a wrestler, like, pinning Seth. Like, it doesn't require that much, like, suspension of disbelief. So it's like, with this, anything goes, to be honest.
If you can remember, I'd been saying that I think Balor's going to become champion by December 2024. I think it's happening a lot sooner than that at this point.
Really?
I think Balor's beating Rollins for the title. Really? They're gonna, I think, to a certain extent, they're gonna hot potato this title. He's good. He's doing a lot of good stuff with Judgement.
Is he still working? What, good? Or?
Yeah. He's still having good matches in the wrestling match. He had a match with Rollins, and then obviously Rollins beat him to qualify for the final against AJ for this title. I think they're putting, and this is Triple H. I think Triple H, he's got that affinity with Finn Balor, like, for maybe all the NXT stuff. Like, I honestly thought it would be another year or so till they heat him up. It looks like it's going to happen imminently. And more so, it's probably to, differentiate this title from Roman.
But do you think they're heating up to be a challenger or to be a winner?
I think he's going to beat him.
I'm not being sarcastic either. I like that, but I think he's sit down.
Yeah, I think he's going to beat him. And then, to be honest, Rollins keeps poking him in terms of, he keeps poking him in terms of, you only held the title for less than 24 hours and all that kind of stuff.
That's actually
like, Rollins is being very kind of heelish and taunting him about that sort of thing.
Do you think, like, the title, like, obviously this title is meant to be switched more often than, like, the Universal or whatever it's called. But do you think they'll give, like, Rollins at least, like, a decent run before he loses?
I think they give him till SummerSlam.
100%.
I think we have a decent. I think with Rollins, they're going to give him a decent run with a decent amount of matches he's had under his belt.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's a new belt. They still need to build some sort of lineage behind it. So if he does lose
SummerSlam
it,
is
it doesn't take
August.
anything away from him. Yeah.
SummerSlam is August. He's already defended the title once. This Braun Breaker stuff is going to be another time. They'll probably keep having open challenges here and there, while the ballot stuff kind of goes off in the background. Like, if they really want to do it, London, I know it's not Ireland, but London is, Money in the Bank.
It's over the road.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it as soon as then. But I think you give Rollins to about SummerSlam and they're changing that.
Because I've got the impression that they were giving him that to keep him sweet.
Yeah, to keep him happy.
And I legit think, and I was speaking about this recently, like, I legit think that he's at a stage now where it's like, I can go get paid millions of dollars and have great matches elsewhere. Maybe I can be in the conversation.
But wasn't there talks of him even like he's like in a movie, so he's going to be away from...
Maybe that's it.
That's a good point.
Maybe it's even a case of he loses it at Money in the Bank and then wins it back at SummerSlam. I think they're really going to move this title around just to differentiate it from the Roman stuff.
For sure. It's definitely going to be
happen.
moved.
If he drops it and then goes and does filming and then comes back and picks it up or something.
Just get the title off Roman ASAP.
To keep him happy.
Keep him happy. That's what I think anyway.
You're right. No, you're right.
So I have a question. Are you guys happy with a hot potato championship?
Not really. Not a world title.
Okay, cool.
No, but this is just this unfortunate circumstances that we're in.
Themselves into
Yeah, that's them.
That's them.
Last question from GG. Thoughts on the new AEW game?
GG.
It looks fun.
Looks sick.
It looks
good. Yeah.
I bought it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks fun. Like obviously, visually, it's not a simulator.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I'm used to like seeing 2K visuals. I'm not used to seeing like arcadey stuff. But the actual gameplay looks fun. It looks just wacky. It looks pick up and play basically.
Yeah.
There's
Pick up,
nothing
play.
but positivity about the game. I look forward to playing it.
Yeah.
I'm not even a gamer, but I look forward to playing it.
It literally just looks fun.
Yeah.
Pick up and play.
I think that's the biggest accolade you can give it.
I'm just interested to see the type of menus they have, like career mode, manager, stable.
Studios, and it looks.
I feel like,
I think this game's going to change the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
I'll be very real. Game-wise, WWE have a lot. 2K have a lot to do.
Yeah.
You think?
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to offend
What is
anyone.
wrong with
people-
2K?
I don't want to offend the wrong
Can we have
people.
this
So I
conversation?
enjoy the game. And I enjoy the game.
We had this conversation because my son, I play 2K now, and I like it. I think it's a cool
No,
game.
2K is an amazing game. It's a great game.
Yeah. So what's wrong with it?
Is it just because it leans too much into simulation?
I think
rather
what
than...
it is that it leans too much in simulation, and I think because of where the game has come from in terms of like 2K20, there's a lot of things that people feel like is missing. So certain things like things not being up to date, like there's certain wrestlers where they'll have attires from maybe like 2-3 years ago, but then certain wrestlers are up to date. It's like they pick and choose who they want to update, and like certain modes like of My Faction, as much as it's a money grab, a lot of people are just like, I don't care for the mode. So certain like things like certain models and attires, it's locked into that mode. And a lot of people are complaining that, why can't it just be for the general game? But with 2K, they've got like a separate dev team that sort that out. But then there's people online like, what's the status? Like they hack the game and they upload it for people.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say though, I feel like with 2K, the community will always be there, not just because of 2K, but because of the creator wrestler.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's majority of the reason why I see people play 2K is because of like the customization. And what I've seen with the AEW game, it's not really that.
Yeah.
It's more just about the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
So I feel like 2K, not saying that 2K will go like was ever gonna go away, but I feel like 2K will still have that place in the community because of creator wrestler.
Yeah. But because of that, when it comes to like the 2K community, it's more so like a rebellion thing where 2K are not happy that people are able to hack the game and do things like that, where they can kind of like bypass certain things like get 2K like different models and tires. Whereas with the AEW game, like they're gonna have creator wrestler, but they're gonna be very much like the community are the ones driving the game. Because if it wasn't for the community, I don't want to offend anyone. 2K is just a wrestling game.
Yeah.
But it's the community, the people that are creating the wrestlers and
Code,
making the actual shows out of the game.
Yeah.
Like what we're doing on 2K. Like.
Basically, 2K can just give us an empty game and the community will build the rest.
build the rest.
They'll build the superstars, the arenas, the titles. Just give us the materials, we'll do it.
Yeah. Like the creativity within the 2K community is
crazy.
It's so
Crazy.
nuts. But at the same time, 2K, it's not making them any money. It's not their bread and butter. They don't care.
So the community is really like it's not the game, it's the creativity.
It's the creativity and the community. Like the game is good. Like the game is the best wrestling game that they've done in years.
You know
it's the community that is driving the game to do as well as it is.
You know what's mad?
Because after a few months, I'll be real. Like if you're not creating wrestlers or you're not playing along,
you kind of stop.
It's dead,
You need something new.
Last year, I probably played the game for like 3 months, and I just got tired.
Yeah.
But then there's always new things that you could like, maybe like the DLCs. Like there's always new things.
So what intrigues you about the AEW game then?
Just it reminds me of like Here Comes the Pain, Shut Your Mouth, No Mercy. Like it just looks fun.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like whereas 2K is like you have to like as much as it is a bit more pick up and play than like maybe like a 2K19.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's just like the like it actually looks like a game.
Yeah.
And I feel like simulation. I said this months ago. Like simulation games has killed video games because everything has to be like real life.
Real life.
Bro, in AEW you can pick up a bomb and
Yeah,
I saw that. That was so dumb.
It's wacky stuff like
Bro,
that. You know what I mean?
online is gonna be too
Bro,
funny.
And the thing is, growing up, like I used to be against all that stuff. For me, it was like it has to look real.
Be real.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, a lot of the older games like WWE All Stars that I didn't like, bro, I love
It
them
makes
now.
sense now.
Because now I'm
It
just
makes
like, bro, I
sense.
just want to have something fun. Do you know what I mean?
It makes
Sometimes
sense.
it's like we could just be at loading bar, man. Yo, let's have a quick tournament. Let's just have some fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not every day. Oh, yeah, lock up.
That's not realistic.
Trying to have a 5-star match.
Trying to have a 5-star match. you know what I mean?
I haven't seen any footage of the exploding barbed wire match yet. I was looking forward to seeing it.
I haven't seen it yet, but
I've seen
Sammy
photos
Guevara,
though.
Tay Nara accidentally leaked a video of her and Sammy playing the game, innit?
Oh, really?
And bro, it looks fun. I can't lie.
Oh, man. Like,
And like you can do intergender wrestling as well. So
Yeah.
and the women bleed in the game. Bro, the game looks fun.
And like there's I've seen that screenshots of the blood, like literally the
Bro,
whole
the whole
ring
ring
is
is
full of blood.
Bro, the game looks so
First
fun,
and
man.
for it.
And that's why
Blood
I
on the
say
back.
this game is going to change the wrestling industry because this is what we need.
It's added some
We just
diversity
need
to it.
fun,
for
man.
sure.
Like all this simulation stuff, like it's cool. I like the realism, but at the same time, like, bro, Orange Cassidy can fight with his hands in his pocket.
Yeah.
Bro,
Darby can
That'll be like a skateboard,
Do you know what game I am looking forward to? You know the wrestling code.
The wrestling code, yeah.
That one, I know
That's
they're taking their time with it, but it looks good. It looks like it's gonna be a mixture of both.
And this is what WWE have always needed. Same way we needed like an AEW to come, and we need all these different wrestling promotions. We need all these different video games to be in the air because all this 2K, we've been having it for 20 years by itself.
We've had the same game.
We've had the same game.
You've unlocked a character in 2K21, then you've activated them in
When you buy the
2K22.
game, it's another game. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now we're getting a variety of different wrestling games. And that's all we needed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Now I love 2K, but in trouble. I'm like, especially that it's coming out end of this month.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, especially if it gets good
29th.
reviews and
Bro, and the people that have been reviewing it since they want to play the game, like since the latest build, nobody has anything bad to say about the game. And because it's one of those games where like it's gonna last a few years because they're gonna keep updating it. They're always gonna have free updates, bro. Too long.
So
The
essentially,
only thing I don't like is the entrance. Actually, no, if entrances they've gotten better because you can control what they do, but the entrances are a bit.
Yeah.
But
If you could see them run to the ring, it'll be calm. But
as long as it's not like
the
TNA.
matches, the game,
the gameplay,
And
excellent.
because it's EAUX, like EAUX, they used all the moves that they made for 2K.
Yeah,
It's all in the game anyway, so it cut the process for them. They didn't have to do a lot of things. You know what I mean?
that probably saved them a lot of money as well.
Saved them bread. They own it, innit? So they can do whatever they want with it. So
Fairs.
the AEW game should be fun.
Be interesting to see how well it does.
Yeah.
I hope it does. I hope it does really well.
I hope they smash out the
Yeah.
park. I hope so.
They put a lot of money into
A
it.
lot of money and a lot of years, and taking the rating down as well. Because it was rated R for a while.
Yeah, because of the blood.
Yeah, because of the blood and the intergender.
And Cody's in the game as well, so let's fucking go, man.
Hold on, wait.
And Owen Hart's in the game as well. He ain't been in the game for 23
But
years.
before we move on, did you guys ever play the TNA game?
Yeah, it was medium, man.
Okay.
Media.
I liked it only for one match though.
I liked it.
The X Division,
the X Division, yeah.
That one just got.
A lot of glitches with that game.
Yeah, mad glitches.
Good voice acting though.
Yeah, voice acting.
Good voice acting.
Low key. Claim to fame.
Should we get out of here?
Yeah, that's wrap it up.
Fuck, what do you say?
I forgot.
Camera off.
Whose line is this?
That's it. We're done.
I forgot we read the book.
Any shout outs? Any announcements?
Hustle, what day is Hustle? 25th?
July 25th.
July 25th. So yeah, get your tickets. New Indie Takers out this week.
Sure.
New Revolution Radio is going to be out. Obviously, we've got Swerve and Orange Cassidy, or it'll be out by the time you guys watch this anyway. So you can see that.
The announcement of the first Collision main event as well.
What's that?
Tony Khan is.
Oh, it's going to be on the show.
Yeah, they're gonna
okay,
announce
yeah,
it.
so we'll definitely talk about that.
The guardrail.
The guardrail.
The rubber match.
Our WWE affiliate link. So if you get all your t-shirts, you know, any of your WWE merch, use our affiliate link that's in the description, and of course our own merch as well. Your Scoot Up tees, Bang Up Badizio tees, they're all there. So yeah, you can grab that as well.
Yeah, I've been Doughboy.
I've been Knowledge.
Mex.
MK.
Laps.
Wrestling's podcast, the coolest wrestling podcast in the whole motherfucking world. Tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your nan, tell your auntie, tell your girlfriend, tell your link, tell the girl that you met on Hinge, tell the girl you met on Tinder, tell your pastor, tell your mom, tell everyone.
Tell the babes at DLT.
Tell the babes at DLT in Malta. Tell the babes on the arse cam. Tell the babes at Hustle. This is Wrestling Podcast by the man then for the man there. Bow. Jade Cargill, I love you.